Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go live.
AJ,
Well done, yes,
I
sir.
think you could spit a little buff. We give you a couple words.
Maybe
Maybe 2 words, not
I like to
4.
blow my trumpet and that, do you know what I mean? In my last fight, I had to watch my weight. I'm eating too much, even though I'm a heavyweight.
Yay!
I'm on time and I'm never ever late. I'm hustling hard so I can go on and be a great.
Great.
In JD, chilling with my mates.
Mate.
I stay low key, never ever moving bait.
Mate.
Keep it calm, ring the alarm. Man chat, get slapped with my palm.
Alright,
Intended for mature audiences. The views expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
ThaBoxingVoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just a body punching? I was hitting him with body punching. I heard him actually he was crying in there. You were saying that Gibbs was crying when you hit him? Yes. When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on.
ThaBoxingVoice.com.
So that you knew you had him by that time. Absolutely, but I knew he was touching and taking those punches.
Deontay Productions.
Making women gestures like, oh.
Let's go, champ.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Let's go. We are back with a jam-packed show. We got a bunch of topics to get here. You know, people say that there wasn't a lot of boxing, but there definitely is a lot of news to discuss. Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder dominating the heavyweight boxing industry. The news is just going crazy. I mean, first there was an offer, you know, people went rampant about the 12.5. Was it legitimate? Hearns confirms that number roaming around is pretty accurate. We know a lot of details now. The negotiations somehow have been exposed on the internet.
Deal with this behind closed doors, because a lot of negotiations can go on over social media and YouTube channels and stuff. But
Gennady Golovkin in seek of another opponent, still on our second topic tier. Looks like Mr. Toyota Corolla, aka Royota Marotta, may be having something to do with Gennady. I don't know. We'll talk to you about it. Since we're talking some of the Bob Arum prospects / champions, let's speak former Manny Pacquiao, the former champion, still not parting ways with Freddie. Roach, I thought we confirmed that this was a done deal. I don't know. We're going to have to bring this one back and give you more details. Rod Salka somehow has made TBV's top 5 list, and it's all credit to Matthew, the Hipster Hunter, staying true to his name, putting on the hipster topic / a dash of politics here, you know, bringing up the old president, Mr. Trump, for all those interested in politics, not boxing politics. Well, I guess it is boxing politics. But anyway, those are a couple of things we'll be discussing, as well as Jamal James, you know, getting his big win in his hometown fight, as well as little Chris Colbert getting his back-to-back. It is a back-to-back win for Chris Colbert out of Brooklyn, Atlas Cops and Kids Gym in New York City. Back-to-back wins over back-to-back undefeated prospects. We just have tons of news to talk to you guys about. So if you're interested in this, remember to tell a friend that we are now live on YouTube.com /Nestor Gibbs and going strong. Shout out to everyone that subscribed. We're at 353 subscribers, guys. You know what that makes me feel? It makes me feel amazing. I'm all warm inside like a freshly baked cookie. Why? Because everyone that's fucking signing and subscribing, you're here for this show only. There's no interviews with Matt and his little fresh haircut talking to Deontay. There's none of that. There's no, Doomy talking Spanish and Ness interviewing guys. None of that. It's just podcasts. So you are the true listeners, or at least some of you, that choose to listen on YouTube. That being said, call in number 1425-569-5241. Press 1 time. We do have a good announcement really quick. We have to just remind you. We got a few reviews to read. Shout out to everyone that headed on over to iTunes. You dropped us a 5-star review because 3 of you dropped 5-star reviews that we will be reading. And Skype us by adding Nestor Gibbs, Nestorgi BBS. Let me include now my panelists here. We can actually say panelists because there's more than just one co-host. Can you believe it? Well, here they go.
Gennady Golovkin production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck yeah. Conor McGregor.
BoxingVoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock into a knockout, man. When the main thing is, I just hope the guy. I wish.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yes. The Hipsters here. Haters beware. And it's good to be back. It's been a few days. And while Ness alluded that Rod Salka, Fransisco Vargas is a hipster fight, I would argue it's probably the biggest fight that happened this weekend because it was really, honestly, a dead weekend overall. But the news that is still dominating the headlines is Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. The negotiations, the now counter offer that's been brought up by Brian Custer. So much to get into, so can't wait to chop it up with you, Ness, Rob, and the callers. Let's go.
Oh, that was my cue. Still dropping the ball.
I know, it's okay.
BJ was going to beat me, didn't you? You predict he's going to beat me. He got smashed.
Why doesn't Wilder sold out 90,000? This guy has been pro for like 8 years, 9 years. If Wilder wants some of his work, you can definitely get it on ASAP.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. The Joshua Wilder negotiations all over the news, like Matt said. And pretty slim on the fighting front, but there's a few to talk about. And also just a little bit of TBV breaking news. We've just, on the Mother channel, gone 57 million views. So shout out to all you viewers out there.
Definitely. You know what? On that Mother channel, as you like to call it, we need to get to that 72,000 subscribers. I don't know what's the count, but I think we're about 71.5 maybe, or a little more. So where's the love? Don't forget to subscribe to the Mother channel. But let's
71,668.
Ooh, almost there.
OMG. I am so excited.
So am I, Tyson. So am I. And we will be talking about Tyson coming back. There is a rumored opponent. I guess we could put that in news on our 5th topic. But let's start off with some UK news. Robbie, I don't know. Do you want to do the honors of bringing in this first topic with the guy who you've kind of cloned yourself after, Mr. Eddie Hearn, had a very, very interesting interview. It revealed so much. Now, obviously, Matt, everyone criticizes me for either misreading or overreading Joshua's body language and Eddie Hearn's body language, but I mean, audio is audio, is it not? There was a lot of things said. I don't know. I mean, before I play that audio, I don't know if any of you guys want to get involved.
I didn't hear it, to be honest.
Oh.
Well, I put it in the pre-pro there, Matt. I know.
Call him drop the ball, right?
But Eddie, in front of the camera, especially with Coogan, very comfortable, and he knows what he's going to say there. This is what we discussed. It was on a Patreon only show, but he sort of lays it down how it's breaking down, and he really tries to put to bed this entire $100 million fight, and regarding the percentage wise of what it is that Deontay's been offered. So I'm sure you got the audio there, Nez. So if people want to check it out, and they can decide for themselves.
Before we go to the audio, I mean, so it sucks that you're the UK guy, because then it's like, well, I'm attacking you, but
bring it on.
Are you sound almost as if you believe it's not $100 million fight. You sound almost as if you believe somehow boxing is dying and only Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson can make $100 million. For Eddie Hearn to say that and laugh at people like us who are out here discussing that this does have the potential, I think that it's a slap in the face to assume that this fight doesn't have the possibility has to be a lie. We have one fight because he brought up Mayweather in his interview. You know he's listening to this show.
Well,
I mean,
hold on,
they brought up every single topic we spoke of Thursday. I mean, I love it. I fucking love it. Little by little, I'm telling you, we're gonna get to the point where they have to sit down and answer our questions because he was answering our questions on another fucking channel. The entire interview was based on our show, our callers, our title, everything that we fucking discussed. Everything.
Quickly, I'll say this. It's okay to say it's not a $100 million fight, but the comeback isn't $40 million because that doesn't make sense. This is clearly bigger than a $40 million fight because, let's be honest, Klitschko-Joshua was at least a $40 million fight. Both of them got at guaranteed purchase of $20 million. Assuming they probably got even more maybe on the back end, who knows? I mean, to assume that this fight does not equal at least, hell, $60, $70 million, maybe 80 on the low end, I think it's pretty disingenuous of Eddie Hearn. That's my argument.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the figures and what can be made where and where the extra money would come from. But, I mean, he goes into it, he kind of breaks it down, but he I don't know, he really believes this isn't a $100 million fight. Maybe up to 60 or something.
Hold on. Again, I said it's okay to say it's a $100 million fight, but his comeback to you on Twitter, which is public domain, said 40 million.
No, and then he doesn't even say it's Rob, right? He says, some geezer. Did he say geezer when he was talking to you? Because he did. I don't know.
No. I kind of hijacked him and this other guy talking about it. They were discussing because the guy put out what Parker got, and he said, "Look, where are you getting this Joseph Parker figure from? It was not that. You can the 13 million, cut that in half, and it's that half still is more than what he got." And he kind of went into it there, and I just jumped in and said, "Well, what is the estimated value in this fight?" Because people are basing their opinion on it that it's $100 million fight, and he said, "Again, more madness. Conservative estimate is 40 million. So how conservative it is, I don't know. But whether he's put that out there to continue a narrative and to say, I don't know.
Robbie, very conservative. I mean, we're all sane people. Listen to me. How much money, if he said Joseph got 7, because he's saying now it wasn't 13, but he still admits on the audio that he did get 33 point something %.
Yeah.
So all we need to do is find out the total revenue and do our own math and see how many lies. Because let me tell you, lie after lie, they're getting caught. You want to know another one? Coogan tells him, well, how many offers were sent? He says 1. Joshua says 3. Then Coogan says, well, wait a minute. Joshua said 3. He said, oh, wait, well, last year in November, like, who's lying?
Yeah, he brought up
is what I want to know.
He brought up just meetings, didn't he, regarding the what would be the other 2 supposed offers. But all we know is we've got this one definite one. And as Matt said, Brian Custer tweeted out and put on his IG, there's been a counter offer, and we haven't heard exactly about that yet, but we'll see.
Right, but this is why I don't want to go to the audio yet, right? Because for boxing fans to think it's okay, what's taking place here and siding still with Joshua and Hearn it's upsetting and disappointing, because I want the two of you to answer one simple question. It's very simple, and I highly doubt that I will be wrong. Name me one super fight. First of all, we have to agree that Joshua versus Wilder is a super fight in the line of Mayweather Pacquiao, Mayweather McGregor, Canelo Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, those. Are we in agreement that fight being Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder is that big in those realms?
If you include the UK audience, yeah, maybe.
Matt,
it's hard.
Matt, for you to be saying, just keep in mind. No, wait a minute. You got to hear what I'm saying before you can dispute.
Okay.
For you to be saying in a negative tone when you just literally said that you think the fight is $100 million fight, it really means that you're contradicting yourself. Just saying, as your co-host, I'm trying to make sure you don't look stupid on the show.
Well, if you let me finish my point, You compared it to fights that did over 4 million pay-per-view buys in the U.S. This fight doesn't do that here. Now, does it still get its money in other markets? Yeah, most likely. I think we're smart enough to realize that. But again, you compare it to fights that in this market did numbers that I just don't think it can do.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think it can do 4 or 5 million pay-per-view buys in the UK, but I don't think it does 1 million pay-per-view buys in the US. But it still does $100 million somewhere else.
I just want to point out, Rob, that every time Matt loses an argument, he brings up hashtag Matt stats, right? So I mentioned at least 5 big fights to give us a barometer of what a super fight should look and feel like. And he chose to go with the one that sold the most pay-per-views to automatically try to, I don't know, say that I let you speak. Say that my point is null and void when there are other pay-per-views. Mayweather-McGregor was the highest. Yes. There's also Mayweather-Pacquiao, like I mentioned.
Which is over 4 million. Which is over 4 million. And it has the record, actually, not Mayweather-McGregor.
Also, Mayweather-Canelo, Mayweather Oscar De La Hoya, Pacquiao versus Margarito, Pacquiao versus everyone, Cotto. Those are all pay-per-view fights. Those are all considered big fights. Those are all fights that we have fight parties for. And I am asking you, is Joshua and Deontay Wilder a super fight? You want to pick the highest one, the most grossing one, and say, no, it's not a super fight because it's not that. So the rest of them aren't super fights either?
Ness, you only brought up pay-per-views that did over 2 million when you first brought it up. Now you're bringing up other ones that did 1 million. And I'm still on the record for saying I don't think it does 1 million pay-per-view buys in the U.S. I don't think it does that. It can still be a super fight.
So then Eddie Hearn is correct. It's not a super fight.
I still think it can do 100 million in other markets. That's the thing. This is not a U.S. sport anymore. The UK market in the last few years has shown that. So I think that you can get money and get the bag in different markets and still, let's say, do 600,000 pay-per-view buys in the U.S. Still do pretty decent numbers.
If a fight reached 100 million, isn't it a super fight? Like, I don't understand why.
Again, I wanted to just stipulate that you compared it to fights that did really huge numbers in the U.S.
Because
again, let me finish this. When callers call in, they're going to say, you can't compare it to those fights. And I'm going to say, well, those fights were very market-centered to the U.S.
Yo,
that's what I'm trying to say.
This guy loves to argue with me, Rob. None of this was part of my argument, right? The question that I had for you guys, all I needed you to agree that is a fucking super fight, which we all know that it is. That's why everyone is here to watch this show. That's why all our numbers are better. But Matt takes us around the motherfucking corner, down the block. We get in the car and we can't get out with this guy. But the true question is, what fucking super fight has either opponent ever been on record accepting a flat fee? No motherfucking body. That's a slave contract. There is no super fight you can find where someone took a flat fee. This promoter is damn right shameful to come out in the media and use the word flat fee. Again, find me a super fight where the B side or A side accepted a flat fee.
Just real quick, because you asked the question but didn't give me the chance to answer it because you asked Matt. But I don't know quite how to gauge it in terms of how big the fight is, because I don't know on your level it's a super fight, because Matt said it could do 4 to 5 million in the UK. I don't think it can. I don't think it'll be anywhere near that. And I don't think it's on pay-per-view in America if it's in England, the fight. So you're missing a whole big chunk of money there. I don't know. I just think this is the best fight in the division at the moment. Outside of these two, what fight is going to get close? Apart from, Tyson Fury's back on the scene. That can maybe do great numbers with Joshua, especially here in the UK. But to say it's a super fight in that regard, I'm not sure, because I don't think it is going to do 100 million. But I hopefully prove wrong, and it's a super mega fight, and everyone gets paid handsomely. But
Ness.
Yeah.
Well, your turn to answer, right?
Well, I think I did answer. I think it does around 100 million.
No, you didn't answer. Again, you brought up all the money. My question to both of you was, what super fight has the B side took a flat fee? Neither one of you answered because there ain't no fucking answer besides Ness's.
Oh, well, I said no one has. I thought I said that. And we've talked about that before on
I
the
just want
show.
to be on record. I just want to be on record because I get called a fanboy. Don't call in here talking about why ain't Wilder taking the biggest fight? Why ain't Wilder taking 5 times his offer? Fuck all the narrative this dude is pushing. No super fight. When Floyd offered Pacquiao 40 million straight up, the world went crazy. Okay? And then when Floyd offered Pacquiao 40 million, the world said that fight is bigger. Now all of a sudden, this fight isn't big in Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. It is funny. It's always been like that, though. It's historical. Boxing doesn't lie to you. You can just go back and check. All big fights, there's always a hiccup in finances. This always happens. There's always some stall. Someone always has to have the bigger dick, but it's okay. The audio doesn't lie is all I'm saying. And I hope that everyone, really checks it out for themselves. Credit to, obviously, again, Coog and Cassius. He's got that great stuff over there with Eddie Hearn, keeping us all well informed. Did a great job in making sure that all the right questions were asked. Again, the flat fee. I could not believe that he said it was that. I was shocked. A lot of other little things, but let's go to some of this audio, guys.
I'm happy to talk about the situation, but I'm not going to start screaming and shouting at Deontay and Shirley, saying, "You're idiots. How can you not take this deal?" Because it's got to be right for everybody. We've run the numbers to do the fight at Wembley in September, and we've made them an offer.
Is it a flat fee offer?
Yes, it is. The fee is over five times his biggest purse.
Okay, so all this stuff on social media circulating about $100 million fight.
Yeah. But again, it's so frustrating. This morning, I was laying in bed. It was like 7 o'clock, and some guy was telling me how much money was in this fight and how our offer represented 12.5%. And it was so. I'll tell you, I live and die by these numbers. If I'm 5% out on the numbers that I project within my budgets, I'm pissed off. I'm good at what I do. Right. So we've run the numbers for a Wembley fight. So the offer to Deontay, I would say on a conservative budget, represents over 30% of the pot. Could be 35. We don't know. But we're guessing. We've never done a pay-per-view in the US market, right? Nor has he. People telling me I could do 500,000 buys. Could it? What if it does 200,000 buys? Ward Kovalev, brilliant fight, pound for pound fight. Couldn't do 200,000 buys. Golovkin's done fights, couldn't do 150,000 buys. So you want me to base these numbers on pure fantasy? Doesn't work like that, my friend. We deal with a reality. And the reality is we know the numbers. So we've run those numbers and we've made an offer, I believe, somewhere between 30 and 35% of the pot for Deontay Wilder.
Thoughts, gentlemen? Matthew first, because you haven't heard the audio.
Yeah, I haven't heard it. To me, it seems like a starting off offer because you offer him the Joseph Parker deal, basically, right? The 33%. Like, that's basically what it sounds like, 32 point something, whatever, right? Like, whatever that percentage is that they offer Parker, it sounds like that's what they offered Deontay, which to me sounds like a starting off offer. It sounds like we know probably Wilder started off around the 45% mark, and they're going to work towards 38, 39. That's where they're going to get to. So nothing was shocking from Eddie right here. Everything was sort of expected, like he was to say. Like, if I was a promoter and I had these narratives flying out, this is what I would say to counter it. Whether you believe him or not is up to you. Not speaking to you, the listeners. Rob?
Yeah, I agree. If people believe what they want to believe, I don't know the business side of it and what numbers they run to figure out But you know, he's confident in his numbers. I guess he said if he's like 5% out, he'll be pissed off or whatever. But I guess it's you know, unknown. You don't know just how many are going to buy a pay-per-view, but you can do rough estimates, I guess. But yeah, I think it, like you say, maybe a starting point, because they're maybe expecting it will be somewhere near 60-40, and they've come in at, like you say, 32, 33, and it maybe creep up. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, it's down to the listeners and the viewers to, you know, believe him or not.
And I don't expect Wilder to take this. If it's anywhere, you know, a few percentages close to Parker's, it's going to be seen as disrespect. And it probably should be seen as that.
I can't believe the two of you are brushing off the flat fee.
Well, because we knew it was a flat fee. Like, that's not news to us. Like that.
No, it is news. Parker didn't receive a flat fee.
No, but we knew that $12.5 million offer was a flat fee offer. We knew that wasn't a percentage deal.
But we didn't know it was true. It was leaked information.
Okay, so it was leaked information from a good source, a good reporter. So I took it. I took it as not fact, but I took it as this is probably true. And
so that's even worse. That if you believe the first reporting from that reporter, and it was a rumor that wasn't confirmed, and you still like aren't upset. I don't get it. Like this has never happened. It's never.
What do you mean it has happened? You just brought up fights where it does happen. The first offer is a flat fee. That is what the dick measuring contest is for super fights, like you say. What do you mean? Like this is new? This is exactly what we get with every major fight, like you say. Just because I'm not outraged by it doesn't mean I don't know what it is. I'm just not outraged by it, like you. I'm just normalized by it. This is every super fight. We're going to get this exact storyline every time. So I'm not going to be outraged. I'm just going to call it for what it is.
Robert, anything else before I go to the second part?
No, I just think it's early days. You know, hopefully they can, you know, how long this is going to pan out. Hopefully not, obviously, Floyd and Pacquiao kind of time scale. But, you know, at some point, Joshua's got to start dealing with Povetkin because that's been some deadlines been set for that. So I just hope it can be made, you know, and it's just early days in the whole saga of it all, I guess.
I actually don't want it to be made just so I could be right. I just want to fucking be right at this point.
That's fucked up, Ness. Come on.
I'm just saying, bro. I mean, look, yo, you're sitting here, interview after interview.
Talking about Eddie?
The contradiction. The entire team, bro. I just don't get it. It's hypocrisy.
Deal with this behind closed doors because a lot of negotiations can go on over social media and YouTube channels and stuff. But
Coogan Cassius is a motherfucking YouTube channel.
Yo, but come on, both sides do that.
Eddie Hearn is talking about, oh, wait, I didn't give Parker that, mate, on Twitter.
Ness, come on.
Social media.
Ness, don't worry about my pockets, man. Why are you so worried about my pockets? Like, come on. Like,
maybe you need to play the soundbite so you can raise the quality of the show.
He's deleted.
I don't have the soundbite. You do. You need to send it to me, homie. But anyways, I mean, both sides have contradicting statements. That happens in negotiations, and especially when
I just don't like you guys are all chill about it. That's what makes me look like the bad guy because you guys are like, oh, this ain't shit, man. Fuck it, man. You know, I see people in the chat. They're like, he's the A side, man. He calls the shots, like repeating the same exact.
But that's
shit
not what we're saying. But that's not what we're saying, though. You know that, right? Very quickly.
Wait, no, because it bothers me, dude. And that's why I think it's a racial thing. I swear to God, because when Triple G got offered 10 fucking million, the world went crazy. I'm on the internet every fucking day. Every day. So don't tell me I don't feel this shit. Don't tell me I don't read these comments and get these emails. No, all forms of social media don't get, attacked. When Triple G got offered 10 mil, the earth wanted to fucking split up and swallow every Canelo fan and everyone that wasn't outraged that he was being offered $10 million for that fight. It's fucking crazy. It's some double standard bullshit for sure that nobody ever wants to talk about. You guys are just brushing this shit off. Oh, it's cool. It's cool. This motherfucker sitting here talking about we're offering him 5 times the amount. Who gives a fuck? It ain't about how much he's making. It's not about how much he's making.
Tennis. we're not saying it's cool. We're saying like, hey, it's not a right offer. I think we both said that.
You are saying it's cool. You're telling me, Ness, it's the norm.
No,
I'm
Ness,
not outraged because it's the norm.
Ness,
no,
come
those
on.
were your words.
The norm
Those
is
were
that
your
no.
words.
The norm is this process. Is that not the norm? You brought up Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. Was there not a flat fee? Triple G Canelo. Was there not a flat fee offered? Is that not the norm in this process? Unfortunately.
Matthew, exactly. Except the only normal thing that isn't happening is there's only one motherfucker outraged. But when Pacquiao was offered $40 million, the world was outraged.
That's not true, Ness. That's not true. It's not true, Ness.
I'm not cutting you off.
Ness, hold on.
I'm not cutting you off. When Pacquiao was offered 40, there was an outrage. When Canelo offered Golovkin 10, there was an outrage. Tennis, go ahead.
Have you not looked at any other boxing YouTube channel recently? Boxing Ego, Dante, 78 Sport. Like, we go down the list, and they've all been shitting on this. Have they not? Ego's made like eight
My friend,
to 10
you're
videos
talking
on
about
it.
3 or 4 journalists / reporters.
But they have a community just like we do, and their communities.
It doesn't matter that 3 of us.
No,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that 3 of us are outraged. I'm talking about our listeners, the audience, the people that write the comments, the people that have a Google account, Matthew, the people that you would read saying, oh, Triple G has all the belts. This is bullshit. Oscar and his fishnets. Come on, no, give me this. You know what?
I'm not talking about the double standard, Ness. I'm not talking about the double
Go to
standard.
the other- I am talking of the double
No,
standard.
'cause I agree with
I keep
you.
telling
No,
don't
Ness.
brush it off. That's what I'm talking about, the double standard.
Well,
I'm
Ness,
upset about the double standard.
Ness, I'm sorry, I'm not going to get upset about the double standard because I don't have that double standard. So I'm not going to get upset about other people being racist or whatever. I can't control that. I can only control me, right? And right now, I'm sorry that I think it's just the normal process we have right now. The A side gives the flat fee fuck you offer, and we get the counter offer, and then we see what happens. We see if negotiations keep going or they break down, and that happens every time. So
Yeah, and every time we get an outrage, except we don't got one this time.
That's not true. There is an
5
outrage.
people,
There is.
5 people is enough to you.
You think you think Boxing Ego and Dante have only 5 people bitching about it? Really? Are we really thinking this right now? You think the whole Lions and boxing community, they're not bitching about it 24/7? Come on, man. Those are thousands and thousands and thousands of people here. Maybe millions. So to act like that is not a vocal boxing community pissed about this, I think it's disingenuous. Yes, there's a bigger.
Can we get some fucking tennis here? Because what's disingenuous is for you to be banking your argument on the audience of 3 or 4 reporters. What I'm saying, there should be more people writing articles that say Eddie doesn't want this fight. This is exactly what Floyd did. This is what Canelo did. These are tactics. These are fucking obvious tells. Historical tells of people who do not want the fight.
See, no, that's where we disagree.
Of people that want to prolong the negotiations.
I think those are 2 different things. Not wanting to fight and prolonging negotiations are 2 different things.
My man. No, they are not. No, they are not.
I think, hold on, very quickly. I think offering, hold on.
And he takes whatever you offer him. That's what's that's what's happening right now. That's what's happening.
I think
this guy, he's not popular. He doesn't do nothing. He don't bring nothing to the table. We got 4 belts. We do everything. We don't need nothing. We don't need him. He's nobody. So he's got to take this. Take it or leave it. What the fuck? So wait a minute. What was the difference when Gennady Golovkin had all the belts and Canelo ain't even had no belt? But Gennady wanted to fight with Canelo. What was the difference then? His belts ain't fucking matter. I ain't seen no fight fans talking about, well, he's got all the belts. He deserves 60-40. Canelo should take 33%. Double standard, Matthew. Double standard.
You think that was a majority of boxing fans thinking that Triple G deserved the majority of the split? You really think that? Okay. I mean, there's double standard, but to act like it is the driving force, or no, I think every boxing fan that's been around the block knows what this is. And I think we've been beat over the head so many times with this storyline that we don't care anymore. We don't care. Because we know the fight's going to happen. We know it's going to happen still. We know they're going to be in the back rooms dealing with it. We're still going to get the fight. I don't understand.
This is your biggest flaw, brother.
Me?
That you continue to fail to realize that every single day you have the ability and the power to create a new boxing fan. That every single day when this show turns on, someone can stumble across here and not know shit. They could have watched a rerun of Anthony Joshua versus Parker or any other motherfuckers that he's done for. And same for Deontay Wilder. And they want to know more. It is the internet, and we are powerful now. We have, excuse me, I'm not done. We have the knowledge, okay? So you always talk as if everyone knows that you're Matthew Hipster Hunter, and everyone knows and has as much knowledge as you in boxing. That's all I'm going to close my statement with.
That's not how I talk, Ness, but okay. Again, I will say, look at the negotiations that are happening right now. That's an effect because of the boxing YouTube channels I bring up. You know, the little shows. We have an effect. We've had an effect. To say that, I mean, to say that there's no outrage while we're also facing real negotiations happening in front of our eyes because of YouTube channels like us, I think it's just a little bit short-sightedness. That's all. I think we are having an effect.
And I think I've been on TBV Twitter, obviously, for ages, and there is a definite split. There's especially the American side saying, it's a disrespectful offer, it's shit. And then there's the UK side, Wilder should take this. And whether these people are fully hardcores or casuals or what, I think certain people see certain posts and they think, yeah, Joshua has got 3 belts, Deontay has only got 1. Or there's the other people that go, a flat fee, fuck that. Why should he take a flat fee? This fight's big, or what? It's down to people's level of knowledge. It's down to maybe nationalism. There's so much thrown into it that the opinion is flying around and people are upset about it or fine with it. It's just don't know every single person to know their knowledge or whatever.
Nationalism definitely plays a part in it.
Y'all worrying about money too much. Why is y'all worrying about what's in my pocket?
Let's move on to Triple G, who still hasn't found a dance partner, but promoter or co-promoter. Bob Arum co-promoting a lot of fighters these days. Co-promoter Bob Arum for Ryota Maroda, right?
Ryota Maroda.
Oh, Maroda. He got a win yesterday, so I guess we'll talk about his fight first, which was a complete sham. I'm glad. Shout out to our mastermind, Ron.
No. Time out.
Whoa.
Oh, that was the wrong fight. That was the wrong fight, man.
It wouldn't even matter. That fight was still a sham. And it's just proof that his record is padded and he's a no fucking body. Like I said, his name will still remain Toyota Corolla until he can beat someone of note, because
he's deleted.
This motherfucker fought a clown, not yesterday, whenever it was, and the clown only put on an act. That's what clowns do. He was not hit. He was hit with one good right hand.
No,
everything else was BS.
Again, that's the wrong fight, Ness.
Again, and like I said, it wouldn't matter. Like I said, I just said literally
Ness.
that sentence.
No, we covered that fight actually, Ness. Yesterday. No, we covered that fight. I think last year. I think we covered
Even better. That means that we should have watched it, and he's not worth watching. I like to protect my listeners. These people are like family to me. That's why I just said about this particular channel. These 350-some subscribers, they really enjoy this show. So, no, I don't want them wasting their time with Toyota Corolla unless they're actually getting in the car.
I'll say this. He did look a lot better against Hassan Adam, and he looked a lot better in this fight that he actually fought tonight, technically, in Japan. It was on at like 4-something, I think, in the morning today. But it wasn't the sham that we saw a year ago, Ness, that Ron accidentally sent us because those guys had the same last name that he fought. It was much more competitive, I would say, than what you saw, Ness. Still, like you said, though, he's not a guy that's going to be a world beater. Like, he loses to Jacobs, he loses to Triple G, he loses to Charlo. But the reason why we have to talk about him is because he does.
Bob Arum wants to put him where? In what stadium?
No, because he has a WBA regular belt, and Bob Arum wants him to fight Triple G in, I believe, the Saitama Arena in Japan. I forget what arena.
What was it? No, the Tokyo Dome.
Oh, the Tokyo Dome. The Tokyo Dome.
I seen something like that. And you know what? If you're Triple G, take this, bro. You know, you'll get some good money. You'll get some international cards. I remember Triple G fought another guy like this. You know, I can't even remember his name,
That's
but it was right after the Hassan and them. Damn, oh my God, was Kasim Uma? Jesus Christ, that's how far long ago it was. It was after the Uma fight.
That was the flu fight, right? Didn't he have like the flu and Triple G look suspect in that fight? Right? Am I remembering?
I guess the guy, I know the Chinese dude or Japanese dude had black and white shorts. I mean, yeah, he took Triple G rounds, but I mean, ultimately he beat the crap out of him. But yeah, I do remember that narrative back then. The point is that Bob wants to put them in a stadium, and I think it's a good idea. I mean, Triple G has flirted with these types of ideas. He's talked about doing something in Kazakhstan. You know, we seen him do something in the UK. It's up his market. He's the right type of person. He's a good boy, and good boys get to be international stars.
Yeah, I watched in the end the proper fight. He's just, I don't know. Moreta's like a poor man's Triple G. He kind of cuts the ring off, plods forward, and then just catches punches on his gloves and his arms, and then looks to throw a big heavy shot. You know,
a big heavy right though, like
just right.
He has two power hands.
Yeah. So like I say, a poor man's Triple G. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he definitely will get beat once he goes to the top and starts
That's
fighting.
why he said poor man's, Matt. Jesus, don't you get it?
I know. I said that's why he will definitely lose. I'm in agreement, Ness. Oh my God, someone's on that haterade.
I was being sarcastic.
It's okay, Ness. It's okay.
Sarcastic that it went over my head. You're just not on point today.
Never been a lame-o. Never been a lame-o.
Yo, we don't want Jose on right now. Hold on. I'll say this. My big thing about this story with Moreta is just, I think it's further proof that this fight's going to be canceled on May 5th. That we're not going to get a Triple G fight in either LA or Vegas. They're going to scrap that, look for a summer fight, then a fall fight, and move on.
Yo,
because he's
you know that we got to go back to the Wilder shit.
Oh,
I'm looking at the YouTube now, and I'm checking the thumbnail, and I forgot that Wilder's team put it in offer allegedly. This is coming via Brian Custer. I've sent it to all our Patreons. Shout out to all our Patreons. I know a lot of you said you're enjoying the extra content. We're glad.
Deontay liked that post as well, by the way. So I guess that kind of gives it validity, right?
And let's just pull that up, right? Could any one of you guys get that quicker than me? Because
not me.
What's interesting about this counteroffer that is allegedly being sent to Team Anthony Joshua is that it's an offer for multiple fights, meaning multiple locations. They are willing, and again, it's hard to be a B-side and say what you're willing to do in the UK when that's their market, but there is an offer for UK and Vegas, right? Rob, did you pull it up or no? Should I?
Yeah, I've just sent it to the pre-pro, but it says, I hear Bronze Bomber team has sent Anthony Joshua's team another offer for a mega fight, one taking place in Vegas, another in London, Wembley, or both in the States. If they can reach an agreement, this will be fire for
now.
boxing.
Here's what this means, right? Because I had this conversation with one of our listeners who's become I love you guys. See, this listener has become almost, he's getting on Matt level and shit. That's how much we hanging out. But we were debating hardcore, right? I don't even know how this is possible, dude. I can't wait for more details to come out because I swore to this listener that Deontay didn't have the power to submit an offer. Where's he going to get the money, right? Like, if he wants more than $12 million, let's just do some simple math, right? If he wants more than 12, I'll throw the ball in Rob's corner since he's obvious Joshua fan. How much money you think hypothetically Wilder thinks he deserves for this fight?
Well, if he thinks 12 and a half isn't enough, I don't know. So if he's thinking 60-40 and 15's allegedly 12, I don't know, 20, 25 or something. I don't know.
25 million. All right. So now, Matt, again, we have an opportunity always to teach people and new listeners, right? And now we're going to teach ourselves because I don't know all these answers here, right? So putting a fight together works how, right? Because if Deontay is now wanting 25 million, he's obviously understanding that he's the B-side, so Joshua has to get more than that, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. How much more, right? So I mean, all right, let's say the 25 is what, 33% or 40, right? We heard Deontay's side say they want 40. So now we got to find some math. You guys got to help me. I'm not good at this. Get a calculator out. Let's go. We got to do now. We got to find out what is this $25 million, divide that, make that 40, and find out what's the rest, right? That's how we found that Joshua's pot.
I guess people in the chat will be fucking quicker than this. than us three. So
hopefully, because this is live on air, baby. This is great radio.
So
because
if 25 million is 40%, that means the total pot is 62.5 million. So the rest would be to Joshua, which would be minus 25, which would be 37.5 million.
37.5 million. All right. So you said the whole pot is 62 million, right?
62.5. Yes.
62.5. All right. So this is how a fight gets made for any casual out there, right? Now they have a purse. So now they have to get an offer from a network. Now the network's not going to give them $62 million. They're not going to do that.
Of course not.
But I'm not going to write that off as a possibility, only because we know that this particular network in Showtime has paid one fighter consistently at least 3 consistent times, $32.5 million to face Robert Guerrero. And obviously I'm talking about Floyd. And no, Deontay Wilder is not Floyd, but there is history of them paying a fighter at least that much. But that's still not $62 million. But
it doesn't need
to
be.
How much do you think Showtime, guys, this is my question to you. How much do you think Showtime says to Al Heyman, Shelly? Look at it. You see what I'm saying? His power? He has us calling him Shirley. Shelly Finkel. How much do you think Showtime says, here, guys, this is what we're putting towards a fight? Because essentially they want to buy the rights to air it, the rights to replay it. So they have to give up a chunk to get those rights. How much are they giving up?
Joshua Parker was around like 2-something million, I believe. So this would probably be at least double that. So you're thinking at least 5 million on the high end, maybe 8 million.
Wow, is it that little? The network is only giving them 5 million to get this fight. I see Andre Diakonu. Please elaborate and let me know if that 17 million is what you think that the network would offer, or is that 17 million some other number that you need to elaborate on? Yeah, Matt, that low, 5 million. Rob, give me a guess. Give me a guess. It's okay to guess.
Yeah, no, like Matt said, I think looking back at the Parker fight, it was something like 2 million or something, and HBO had the option to match it, wasn't it? Or
no. HBO sent an offer. Showtime had
that was
the right
it.
to match it.
Yeah, and if Showtime either matched it or they only had to match it for them to get it, didn't they, or something like that?
Yes.
But so yeah, like double or something like that. 5, maybe 6. 5. Well, comfortable enough to just call it a guess.
If you want to be optimistic, if you want to be very optimistic, I'll say 10.
All right, 10. So we got 52. Now we got to get $52 million more. Who do we get it for? And remember, Al Heyman's dealing with Schaefer here now.
Yes. Well,
who's he borrowing this money from? Who are they getting this money from?
Obviously, you have the UK pay-per-view revenue. So let's.
Well, wait, Matt. Wait. You're going too fast.
Oh, I'm going too fast. I'm sorry.
You got to remember, the tweet says Las Vegas.
I didn't know.
Play the soundbite. Give me some Illuminati shit right here. Let's go, man. You're slacking today.
I'm sorry.
The singleness is more excited. That's what it's a better show, guys. It's a better show.
I thought we were talking about the UK. I thought we were talking about the UK, so I didn't know if we were talking about the US. Okay.
No, it's Wilder making an offer. Ooh. Wilder's making an offer. So in Las Vegas, we gotta assume Al Heyman's he's working his magic. MGM Grand has given Floyd Mayweather a Bugatti to ensure that he fights there. How much is the MGM saying we need to get these 30,000 UK people into this casino? Ricky Hatton brought 30. How much does this guy bring? How many people? Before you answer the other question, Rob, how many people does Anthony Joshua bring if somehow Deontay Wilder can make a big enough offer and they accept it and he has to come to the U.S. to defend those? How many UK Brits come?
50,000.
Holy shit.
I don't know. We will travel. The UK number will travel, though, okay?
Oh, that's a good number because Ricky was not a heavyweight, and he did 30. Matthew, where are you at with this guesstimation, Matt?
Somewhere in between. I'll go 40. I'll go 40. I'll be a little more conservative. But I'll say this, obviously, for the people that do not know, for the more casual fans, again, teaching moment, obviously not all those people are actually in attendance for the fight. because the T-Mobile is around 20,000 attendance.
Nah,
No,
people
they
just
just
be
come
part
to
of the
support.
experience.
They just,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what the casinos are thinking. They're like, bro, we just got to get this fight. We'll get the people there. In the chat, people are saying 40,000 UK fans easy.
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe to bet on.
All right. So now with the MGM Grand knowing not only that they will have 17 to 18,000 very high paying customers because they don't get any of the seat money tickets, but they know that those tickets are going to sell for big dollars. So with them knowing they got 17,000 ballers or so, or let's say 5,000 ballers out of the 17 that buy tickets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then 40 some odd people coming in from another country, plus the Americans showing up to Vegas for this massive event. How much does the MGM say, here, Al? Make sure that fight happens in the T-Mobile arena, in our new arena. How much do we give Al to make sure that fight happens in Vegas?
See, that's the thing. Since site fees are usually non-public information, like we never hear about site fee numbers. But I've heard rumors. So, like for instance, Prograis when he fought, who did he fight for his title? Ndongo. I heard from somebody
for his interim title.
Yeah, for his interim title. I heard in his management team, somebody from his management teams told me that was a 7-figure site fee for that fight in South Dakota. So if
and that's why I just want to reiterate that MGM gave Floyd a Bugatti. That's a $4.6 million car.
And that was like a fuck off. Like, hey, not a fuck off like fuck you. It's more like, hey, like here's just an extra Bugatti we have. Here you go. It's lying around.
Like a gift.
Yeah, it was like, hey, here's a present with a little bow on it. That wasn't the actual site fee. So that's where a huge chunk is going to come from, in my opinion. Again, hard to really estimate. I'm guessing probably 15 million, maybe 20 million.
Al Haymon, and I'll be honest with you, it's going to be so fun to see my boy again.
And that might be conservative, by the way.
It's going to be so funny to see Danny again because I swore that this wouldn't be possible. I swore that Wilder couldn't get the money from where. I still don't know how, and that's why we're guesstimating here.
And sorry, I don't want to cut you off on this, but to bounce back to the 10 million from Showtime, if they go pay-per-view, it could be more. Because obviously they won't get their money from Showtime directly. It would be pay-per-view money that they're hoping for. So if they have at least 200,000 pay-per-view buys, they clear 10 million. They do that.
You're opening up another can of worms. Now we got to ask you, how many pay-per-view buys does it do on Showtime, which is the smaller boxing subscribing network?
Here's the thing. When I compared it to the Triple G fights and that you kind of laughed at, I use that as like, hey, those fights were with non-US speaking, non-English speaking boxing, and not even stars. These two guys right here are heavyweights, English speakers, bona fide stars in their respective countries at this point. To me, it can do, let's say, 300,000, 350,000. Maybe if you promote it properly and you have to put some money into it, 500. I can see 500.
Which after Rob answering that very same question, do not let me move on without speaking of promotion, because you know what? I'm glad that I doubled back. Because, Eddie, when you get to this part in the show during your little jog or you're on the treadmill, mate, you better be smiling now. I'm going to give you the path to a $100 million fight. I know how to do it. So go ahead, Rob. How many pay-per-views you think we do in America with this jammy?
It could be 350, 400, I guess, because, a lot of people tune in for Wilder. I know that's when it's just Showtime non-pay-per-view. You're talking like he does around 1 million or whatever. So a third or almost a half of that maybe we'll pay for it. I don't know. It's just to me, it's a shitload of money because you guys pay $79. We only pay 20 quid. So I can't really gauge what people are going to spend. But I'd say 400, maybe 450.
I think with very quickly, Ness, I'll say this just very quickly. With Mayweather McGregor, I think it's shown that the public will pay for matchups that just seem exciting, that they have like that animosity, that storyline, that natural buildup, and this has that. That's why that's why I think this does numbers. That's why I think this bucks a lot of trends with maybe debut pay-per-views in the U.S. because of the style matchup that we have here with both of their personalities that have not been present in other pay-per-views recently.
So listen, real quick, just for our live listeners and anybody, like I said, we continue to say casuals, just for a barometer of the potential for this fight. Remember, if Deontay put together a decent offer that Joshua considers and the fight takes place in the U.S., it will be on primetime television. It's a possibility to be on HBO. I mean, excuse me, on pay-per-view, the way that Matt said. Juan Manuel Marquez, a Mexican legend. No denying that. First ballot Hall of Famer, I'm sure. The man known to knock out Manny Pacquiao. Yes, a lot of accolades. But he and Timothy Bradley, equally, I guess, popular to some degree, also fought Manny Pacquiao, 2 or 3 times? Only sells 2,000 tickets in his hometown. Never headlined anywhere. Their pay-per-view did over 225 buys, if I'm not mistaken, but those are not #Matt stats. Those are probably very accurate. But Matt can take this opportunity to try and debunk those while we go back to how to get this to $100 million, right? Because I think that Mayweather has given us the blueprint. He said it so much that he's the face of boxing, and it's going to be hard to ever talk about boxing without talking about him. He showed us with Canelo, right? Canelo wasn't the star that Oscar was. Canelo doesn't speak English. Oscar was an Olympic gold medalist. Canelo was not. So anybody out there that's ready to debate with me about how big Canelo is, remember that Oscar was the true golden boy for winning the medal.
And also I'll say this, Canelo has that ethnic, nationalism drive behind him, right? And he doesn't speak English. AJ has that nationalism backing, so to speak, completely, and he speaks English and is actually very good on the mic and can cut a promo if needed.
And has a gold medal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, again, Mayweather showed us the blueprint is simple, guys. How did Mayweather take Canelo over the top? How did Mayweather make the guy with no amateur background, the guy that doesn't speak English, the guy that doesn't have an American fan base, or at the time didn't have one? How'd he get him to break the record with the guy that did have all of that, that did have the gold medal, that could speak English, that did bring women, that was already a promoter? He did it by doing an 11-city press tour. Now, one of those cities got canceled, but they spent money. They spent money to make money. And Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't that fight, particularly Canelo versus Mayweather, still hold the record for livest Vegas gate? Or did Mayweather McGregor top that already?
You mean biggest gate, not livest gate. I don't know what livest gate means.
Hey, bro, you're my co-host. You're supposed to help here. I'm giving you all these other facts that you.
I'm sorry. No, the record's obviously Mayweather Pacquiao, which did 72.1 million gate. Mayweather McGregor did 55.4 million at the gate, and then Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G actually has the third spot at 27 million, and then Mayweather Canelo at 20 million.
Damn, that's because he keeps that record keeps getting broke. But the point is, he got Canelo to do better than Oscar by doing this 11-city press tour, which obviously, like I said, one city they didn't go to. So now let's play a game. How many cities and countries should they go to? My first one, obviously, is the UK. I'll take Robbie's out his mouth. Who's next? How many could we give him legitimately? We're not just going to say do an 11 city. What 11 cities legitimate cities or countries legitimately will be there the way Mayweather McGregor press conferences were, the way Mayweather Canelo press conferences were? They got to make it feel that way in order to generate that interest. It's interest. It's about driving interest. So come on, guys. I said London. Well, let's go.
London, Manchester, Birmingham in the UK.
Oh, wow. You want to go to 3 cities in the UK?
Yeah, one for each bout.
Oh. Obviously New York. Obviously New York.
Okay, 4.
I'm gonna throw out LA.
5.
I'm gonna throw out Toronto in Canada.
6.
That's a big market. Somewhere in Africa. I'm not an expert in. I'm not an expert in geography.
Hold on. Are you just saying this to tick the box, or is there revenue out there to get? Because I'm sure it'll cost money to host a press conference in Africa. Are they going to make that money back?
See, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know the TV deals in Africa. I don't know what the money is.
Let's not go there. Mexico, Matt.
No.
Let's not go there.
I don't think Mexico makes sense. I don't think
it's heavyweights, bro.
But I don't think you need to go to Mexico. I think
someone, Javier Dudley, is saying Birmingham, Alabama. I mean, I guess you have to if you're gonna go to fucking 3 UK cities.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you have to do at least 3 US cities,
He's
right?
pissed off that I said 3 UK cities. Shit, fuck.
Like 3 UK cities. Like, how dare you?
Oh shit! Andre Diakonu says Dubai.
They could, and obviously, I mean, potential investors from Dubai. That all equals money.
Mind you, Eddie had a phenomenal opinion on the whole Dubai thing, and I'm spot on with him. We can't talk about it. It's kind of its own show. But Matt, you really dropped the ball not listening to that interview.
Which interview? Oh, the Eddie.
Shout out to Coogan, man. Coogan, man. Shout out to you, bro.
I mean, I want to say
smashing it.
Smashing it.
Didn't either AJ or Eddie bring up like Dubai as a potential?
Georgia, Dudley coming up with good cities and Matt coming up with nothing but rambling.
I was trying to ask you a question, Ness. Didn't Eddie or AJ bring up Dubai as a potential like fighting location?
No.
You need to listen to the interview.
You need to listen to the interview.
But I already brought up like 3 cities, Ness. I brought like
Someone
4.
said Dubai, Lagos, Nigeria, London, New York,
South
LA,
Africa.
Alabama, Toronto. Shout out to LB. Where's Lagos?
Lagos, I believe, is in Nigeria. It's a city.
Well, he put Lagos. Oh yeah, you're right. It is
in Nigeria.
I believe it's the capital. I believe
capital city.
Yeah, I believe it's the capital. Or maybe
but then that's a lot of AJ love right there. But I guess.
But is it not allowed in here or what?
It's always got to be a 50-50 affair.
Then what? You want to go to Jamaica? You want to go to Jamaica for Deontay Wilder, who's Rastafarian?
I don't know. It's got to be what represents money. You can't just go. Like, you got to be able to make money from wherever you're doing this press conference. But all right, so now given all of this, they bust out what we made it to. What did we make it to? Do we need to come back here? Do we need Birmingham? Oh my God, someone said Atlantic City. No, Stainless, I should shoot you for saying Atlantic. Atlantic City's dead, bro.
Atlanta obviously makes sense.
China? Did he say China?
No, I said Atlanta.
No, he said China.
Me?
Ireland, Stainless.
Chinatown, maybe.
Stainless, and you know.
Well, time out very quickly, just to actually back up Stainless. You could monetize the Chinese market. There's a billion people there. Kobe and the NBA monetized China drastically, and a huge amount of their jersey sales come from China, actually. So I think why not maybe try out new markets, for example, Africa.
Oh my God,
What?
I'm not even gonna bring up this guy's comment. I'm not gonna do it.
It's okay, Ness. Breathe. It's okay. Deep breaths.
Woosah.
Stainless says LA, New York City, Las Vegas, UK, Ireland, China, Toronto, Mexico, Atlantic City, Birmingham.
Take out Atlantic City. There's no reason.
Take out Atlantic City, give it Atlanta and Birmingham. I like that. All right, now is that the code? Does that crack the 100 mil, or at least get way past the 40? How much past the 40?
A combination of that helps. I'm not saying all of those places in that order helps, but mix up the order, figure it out. Yeah,
but
I
just
think
the thought of a huge,
yes,
multi-city press tour, not no 4-city bullshit, big dog shit. Mayweather, McGregor, Mayweather, Canelo style. Roll out the red carpet, get fancy. Look at what Mayweather was doing, all in his face. For Voltron, like shit that you're gonna remember. That's how you build a super fight. Make me remember. That's all I'm saying. All right, so we're if you guys have any final thoughts on that, we could go back to the other topics.
Yeah, I forgot what we were even talking about before we went back to
no, because we had to say that Wilder is coming up with a counteroffer.
No, I understand. No, I'm not mad. I don't know what we were talking about beforehand. What we were talking about Triple G.
We gotta go to Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach.
Freddie Roach. Okay.
And him being with Pacquiao. I'm about to walk away though, because this shit doesn't even interest me at all. No, I'm joking.
No, I just quickly, you said about Triple G and the Bob Arum thing. Just interesting that Bob Arum reckons Canelo would get a 1-year suspension
Yeah.
And that opens up this fight, possibly with Toyota Corolla or whatever.
Toyota Corolla. Shout out to Rob. So, anyone even care if Pacquiao is still undecided about being with Roach? I mean, if he's gonna fight Matisse, I would say stay with Roach, especially if you're gonna be fighting him in Malaysia. But I mean, at this point, it really doesn't matter to me. Like Pacquiao's semi-retired in my mind.
How dare you, Ness? Don't you know we have a platform, and at any moment a new listener can come up and not know boxing, and you just ruined a person's legacy. OMG.
Well,
no.
Sarcasmometer.
Hold on.
I don't know how that sarcasm applies. But I didn't. Excuse me. I did not interrupt you. Like I did not misinform. I gave enough information. I let them know who he was fighting, who he was still potentially being trained
Ness,
by.
I'm joking. Relax. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to defend yourself.
Interrupter. Excuse me, Mr. Interrupter, with bad jokes and always losing arguments.
What the fuck's going on here?
And I got better sound bites.
You need more people.
It's okay, Ness. We know your butt hurt. It's okay. It's that sarcasm meter. You know, it's okay.
I got better sound bites. Is all I'm saying.
I'm not arguing with that. It's
Loaded
again, this ain't a battle.
All right, so what up?
Let me just say, I don't care about Manny Pacquiao and what he's doing. So yeah, I agree.
That's what I was just gonna.
Yeah, I just find it strange. I don't know how long he's been with Roach, like most of his career, right? But there's obviously a problem. But then to say, "Oh, I'm going to make a decision and I'll let Freddie know in a week." If I was Freddie, like, look, just do your own thing, whatever. It's a strange little situation, but who cares?
That's your biggest check. You can't say do your own thing, whatever. But I get you, Rob. I want to say shout out to your camera. Sheesh, you're clear over there, bro. You're like,
which is my better side, this one or this one?
Neither.
Haven't I got one?
That's
Neither.
all right. That's good.
Okay.
All right. So we got to talk about Rod Salka. So for anybody who did not watch HBO After Dark, Rod Salka.
This was not HBO After Dark. This was ESPN.
Oh, ESPN. Okay, I'm so used to him being on HBO. Rod Salka is most famously known for being knocked out by Danny Garcia.
Yes.
And that is about it. Now, Fransisco Vargas, we know him around here. He's a tough warrior, Mexican warrior. He's been a WBC champion and he's rebuilding. He's managed by the same manager as Joseph Diaz Jr. And he was having a comeback fight with Rod Salka. Rod Salka has a couple of wins since the loss to Danny, but I don't think he has fought in about 2 years, right?
It was a bit. I don't know if it was exactly 2 years.
Maybe someone needs to box right that. I don't want to be wrong, but
it was borderline 2 years, I think.
It was like 18 months.
But the fact of the matter is, the only reason that we're even speaking about him, because I want you to know if you just listen to this show, you know what I mean, is because he wore
that's not the reason why.
Boxing shorts that had on the, I guess, top of the trunks, it said America First, and the pattern design on the shorts itself was a wall of brick and mortar. And he was obviously insinuating to his Mexican opponent to stay out of America. Now, I would have gotten it if he was a tough guy. Like, I wonder if this was some sort of
marketing, like,
yeah, like someone
plan?
paid him. I mean, that was a better word. Maybe someone paid him to
Strategic
do
marketing?
it. Like someone in the Trump party gave him a little extra check
Yeah,
to
that'd be crazy.
because I don't like Rod Salka isn't built that way. Like he don't even talk tough on Twitter. Like, you know, like punks talk tough on internet. Like he doesn't even like I didn't get this at all. And now he's given himself this like stigma as some sort of racist.
Yeah, it's quite a turn for a guy that we also like felt bad for. Like, oh, he was the guy that got brought up for a big payday, and he was obviously a big cherry, like blah blah blah, and he got knocked out viciously. Poor guy. And he comes back, and at first, I'll be honest, I did not know what the hell those trunks were at first. I thought it was like some Mario shit. I was very confused at first, and then I saw the America First, and I sort of got it, but not really, because I wasn't really thinking about it, and I was like half watching the fight because I didn't care about the fight. And then I saw the Twitter reaction, and I was dying. God, it was hilarious. He's entitled to do whatever he wants. It's a free country. He can wear whatever trunks he wants. But the irony of him getting beat the fuck up by a Mexican, God, you cannot write that. That is pure Like, that's like God from heaven shining down and saying, yes, fuck that guy. Let's make him a meme for the rest of his life. That was that moment. I loved it. Fransisco Vargas, on terms of the fight, he didn't impress me that much. He definitely looked rusty. He looked like he'd been off for 2 years. He looked like he was trying not to get into a brawl and trying to box, and it just looked weird. I am still not sold yet on Fransisco Vargas back at the elite yet, because this fight was not that impressive to me because Rod Salka is Rod Salka. So,
yeah, Nez said he was famous for being knocked out by Danny, but he's just raised the bar with his fame.
He did.
It's just I don't know, stupid idea. And like you say, the irony of it, it's just, insane. But yeah, memes. I've already seen Rod Salka's shorts on a map across the border.
Yes.
It's you know what I mean? The guy's.
I would say this.
He's deleted.
But he's not. Yeah. He's a meme forever now. So it is what it is.
His career is terminated. I don't know. But yeah, crazy decision.
What's funny is that the internet is undefeated.
They are, man. They don't give a fuck.
The internet is undefeated because I watched that fight. I don't know if I watched it live. I don't know if I watched it on DVR, but I watched the fight. I watched them lose and never noticed it was a fucking war. It's like you said.
It took me forever.
I, too, thought he was on because of the colors. I thought he was on some Mario Brothers shit.
Yo, for real. For real. I thought it was like, dude, Super Mario Bros. What the hell is this?
Yeah, then I get on my fucking Instagram and it's like, yo, Salka everywhere. I'm like, yo, and look, you're right, Matt. It's a free country. Obviously, he's a politician.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did actually run as a Republican in 2016 and lost viciously. So, that's another instant of karma.
I just don't get him, man. You know what I mean? Like, why give yourself this negative hate now, this unnecessary hate that you can't escape now? You can't escape that you can't escape the internet. You can't.
Did you see Danny Garcia's IG post?
I seen the Danny Garcia meme that showed Rod Salka in the exact moment where his life was almost took by Danny. And then underneath that picture showed, that caption said, "Are you happy now?" Underneath that was Rod Salka's shorts, and underneath that was Salka versus Fransisco Vargas. And he was like, "Are you happy now with that knockout?" And
so now you're happy.
Yeah. Oh, so now you're happy, you said, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, I think that was a bit of a dick move for Rod Salka, man. It sucks, bro, because the worst part about it is, though, like, a couple years ago, I would have been more upset and used, way worse terms because of his skill level. You know what I mean? Because a person of his skill level should not be doing any of that. Had Rod Salka won this fight, we would have called this an upset. So again, it's just stupid. Like, you could have plenty of boxing fans calling you, things like bums when you can't even change that. But you put on these shorts as if you're some bad tough guy that will have the ability to change that. Like, even if he would have beat Fransisco Vargas with these shorts on, it would have got worse because he would have got a bigger fight where somebody else would have really did damage because of his disrespectful nature. But that is
you gotta back that up if you're gonna wear shit like that.
Hell yeah, and he can't, bro.
That's why I think Nestor, right? It had to be like a marketing strategic like gimmick.
Someone paid him to do this shit.
For real. Because first off, those trunks were god awful ugly. Like it didn't even look like a wall.
Flashy either. Like they couldn't have done a better job. Like I said, I didn't know till the internet. So they did a poor job.
The America First could have been a little bit more like popping, so you can tell what it is. But nah, they just fucked up. Dude, all around fucked up.
Not to mention where that America First shit originates, unless people are like just tying it to that.
Well, America First actually originates from the America First Council during World War II for a Nazi support group. Shout out to them.
So not
Trump took it from that group. That's why. But yeah.
Well, the internet is claiming something totally different. They're claiming that other gang with the white sheets. But
same
any
shit. Same
other
shit.
news?
Same
Oh
shit.
shit! I was saying any other news, dude. You know, every now and then we talk longer than we're supposed to, but we totally forgot to talk about the fights, and I'm not gonna not talk about that. It wasn't Toe Tuesday. What was it? Like a Friday night for FS1?
Was it Friday or was it Saturday?
I don't know, bro. I mean, with Jamal James.
Yeah. I forget what day it was, but it was one of those days.
FS1, I think.
It was FS1.
Well, whatever, man. I sent it to you guys in the pro chat, pro and out. Chris Colbert, bro. This kid's impressing me. He is impressing me. I don't even know what to say because I have a totally different opinion of him now. I always thought he was good, but I didn't know how far he can go because of the power. Like, you don't see any knockouts, but
it may not matter.
It may not matter because he's so skilled. Now, he was doing the same combination, 1, 2, 3, wide 3, 2. That left hook was coming like a fucking roundhouse right, but it was deceiving enough. Dulé could not see that punch. But we are talking about Chris Colbert, who won his battle with the undefeated Austin Dulé, and he won by TKO. I'm so excited because I know this guy. Dude, let me tell you the history on this. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is what fighters don't get. And again, one day we'll be big enough where I can really tell him how I feel. But for now, I'll still tell you how I feel. I know this kid. Bro, him, Richardson Hitchens, and one more, which is still amateur right now. Is his name is like Nunu or something weird. I got it. He trains out of the same Atlas Copson kids that they all do, that Big Baby Miller does, that Julian Sosa does, right? And there's only one amateur still left. Well, actually, they have another tall Spanish kid eventually too, but whatever. Sticking to the topic. They all used to come to all of Lou DiBella's and all of Golden Boy's press conferences in New York City and even some of the tri-state area. Obviously, Golden Boy was dominating boxing before 2012 when none of these kids were pro. And, you know, they were associated with Al. Money was good. They were giving out tickets to all these kids, and these kids were just allowed to come to all the press conferences. Kelly Swanson, who, you know, for anybody not knowing, is Mayweather's publicist. You've probably seen her always in pictures next to him with white woman with glasses. She always was catering to these kids, right? So obviously, you know, they knew me from the show and YouTube and, hey, Ness, whatever. And I'm like, oh, these kids, the kid I can't remember and Chris would literally wear all their belts, Matt. Like their amateur shit that they won, they would show up to, let's say, Nonito Donaire versus, they were at Nonito Donaire versus Rigondeaux's press conference. None of them were pro, but they had all their fucking titles around their shoulders, like if they just won. You know what I'm saying? And I would talk to them and, you know, they would tell me they were going to turn pro. Sure enough, one is signed to fucking Mayweather. The other, they're both signed to Heyman. One is signed to Mayweather. And, you know, obviously Chris was signed to Golden Boy at first. He was being mentored by B-Hop. That's why his nickname is Little B-Hop, a.k.a. the Golden Child, right? And long story short, bro, he's here now. He's fucking here now.
And he looks really
little
good.
Kid, and he's here, bro. He looks good. He was on TV, first time on national television, and he fucking shined, bro.
And it's something that he won every round and looked spectacular and almost flawless doing it, and almost like with ease. Like he looked far beyond his you know, pro record level shows. But it was the sportsmanship at the end. Like, he knew all the right little things to do to paint an image, the right image. To definitely, I think, if you're a casual that never watched Chris Colbert before and you watch that fight, you're probably blown away by him. Yes, there's no power really there, but he doesn't really need it. You know, he's almost on that, like, not Loma sets, where Loma just, like, peppers you until you just give up. And he just slips every shot to where you just become so discouraged that you don't throw your offense there. But he sort of does that, where he bullies you into submission almost by making you so inefficient, hitting you constantly. That 1-2 he has is fast and sharp. It may not be the most powerful thing, but that thing has some pop. It has at least some respect to it.
The speed is a problem, brother.
Yeah.
You made the perfect comparison. That Lomachenko shit, not that he's anything at all like Lomachenko. Don't fuck up our analogy, but the fact that he was so fast, Dulé was just like frustrated. He couldn't do nothing. And we're talking about a guy. Listen, when I seen this on the schedule, you heard me Thursday. I was afraid for Chris because I'm like, fuck, Dulé, I've watched him. He does have power. Yo, Chris act like there was nothing there.
Just had him on the jab and then just bang, bang, bang. It's just speed. Like you say, sometimes it doesn't have to be power when there's speed attached. It's just snappy and pop, pop, pop. And like if you're not getting anything off yourself, that, like Matt said, that is discouraging. And he looked impressive to be 8-0 and looking that good on TV. But that's promising.
Now here's the thing.
Very quickly, Ness, I'll just say this before you go. Dulé showed an insane chin, in my opinion. Even though Chris Colbert's not like the heaviest hitter, we know that.
He dropped him.
I mean, he did, but I mean, and obviously it was a finish technically, but he took shots the entire fight and kept coming forward. So shout out to Dulé. I hope he comes back better than ever because he
And
definitely
let me tell you, some of those knockdowns that weren't counted, who knows what another referee would have done? Because I ain't gonna lie, some did look like hooks, but at the same time, I questioned Dulé's heart. And let me tell you, I don't know if anyone stuck around after the fight. He demonstrated like some sort of lack of heart and maybe disappointment, frustration, so much so that it seemed like he wanted to quit altogether boxing right there without his gloves even being cut off. And you can hear Chris Colbert telling him like, nah, man, don't give up. This ain't nothing. You're going to come back, baby. You're going to come back stronger than ever.
That was awesome to see.
I couldn't fucking believe the sportsmanship, the maturity of this kid. Like, I ain't going to front. I didn't like the purple hair or green hair. I don't know what the fuck that was.
I didn't mind it.
Bro.
I didn't mind it.
Bro, he not only did he fight like a man, then at the end to give Dulé that reassurance, like, yo, he could have easily been a dick. You know what I'm saying?
And this is a guy that, when he was on the documentary, what's the documentary called again? I forget. On Netflix.
Yes, he was on that documentary.
And he was, I believe, only like a couple fights into his pro career. Like, he was in a single like bedroom apartment with like stacks and stacks of tennis shoes. And I remember at first being like worried by that, like that materialism, because that affects every boxer. Some manage it and some don't. And he obviously seems like he has a good head on his shoulder. Like he has grown into himself before our eyes. So just salute to him in every way, and I can't wait to see him again. He is the guy to watch right now in that like 130, 135 pound division, along with the guys like Michael Conlon, Shakur Stevenson. He's a guy to watch.
Now here's the thing: for whatever reason, there's fighters like this. There's fighters, and first of all, before I say that, let me just pat myself on the back. This is the conceitedness, because I spoke like this about Earl, and all our shows are archived. You could go back 5 years ago when Earl was still in Rio de Janeiro fighting. He was it Rio or UK? I don't know. But the point is, before he fought, we had all of the Olympians on this show. We told you about Marcus Brown, told you about Earl, Rashid Warren, all those guys way before they were pro. And no different with Chris. And he is now showing that he can be someone. And this is the thing. 2 back-to-back undefeated prospects he's handled, Matt. He's put himself at number 13 in the world, not in the world, but in the U.S., right? Which is important regardless, because it's still up there with some very popular little names. Manuel Robles Jr. is above him. Guys like Golden Boy's Abraham Lopez, who's getting some shine on ringtv.com and ESPN. Mm-hmm. Yandel Evans, who just knocked out, rest in peace to Luis Rosa. Yeah. But Yandel exploded on the scene after being 2 years off and only suffering 1 loss to Javier Fortuna. Now you hear the caliber, I'm just saying. Tokia Khan, who his last name is Clary, he signed to Real Deal Promotions, getting a lot of wins and actually bringing boxing back to Atlanta. This one is good. Manuel Avila, right? Isn't that Tino?
Yes.
Isn't he?
Or is that?
He only has 1 loss, I believe, to the. Yes, this is Manuel Avila. His only loss, I believe, is to the kid that just has Joseph Diaz.
Jojo Diaz, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then who else in the U.S.? Chris Avalos.
That's probably the right fight. That's probably the right fight to make. Chris Avalos has fought everyone at the top. He has a bunch of losses to those guys, but he's that Carlos Molina type, or somebody you want to mention. He's that barometer.
How is Chris Avalos number 3? I mean, BoxRec
I
does,
don't know,
but that's because he's been in bigger fights, so
That's
he
why.
gets more points.
Yeah, that's why.
You know, but that also represents more popularity, Matt. So you could fight Abraham Lopez, but only you and me know him because we're hardcores. Only me and you are on fucking ringtv.com. But and that's a harder fight.
Yo.
That's an upcoming young guy. You could fight fucking Chris Avalos, who's already shop worn.
A fight that would be awesome to make, the name you mentioned is Manny Robles Jr. That fight would be awesome. Both undefeated prospects, but we know that fight's not happening next. So that would be way too soon.
No, I don't even want this kid to get another undefeated. Like, why is he getting so many undefeated prospects back to back? It's unfair.
He's
is
killing prospects. He's killing prospects right now at this stage.
Yeah, bro. I don't care. Why are you taking these risks this early so soon? Like,
that's not
AJ
what.
didn't even do that.
Yeah, well, AJ had a run of undefeated guys into his title shot. He had like Gary Cornish, who was undefeated. Dylan White was undefeated at the time. I think he had one more, and then he fought Charles Martin, who was undefeated.
Ooh, look at Matt defending. Yo, where you at? Where Rob?
Yeah,
that was supposed to be your work.
No.
Touch me.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so on the main event was Jamal James, who I'm sorry I can't have the same enthusiasm. I was so impressed with his win versus Diego Chavez, and then he went out there in front of his hometown, still giving up his height, still not using his jab. I almost wanted to hear that in the post fight he had a broken right hand because he was throwing it. I mean,
it was lackadaisical. It was almost, now I'm not gonna say lazy performance, but it was.
I didn't understand it.
Like, he was content just throwing the jab out there and outboxing him a little bit. Like, he seemed very content. I don't know if there's an injury in the camp, like you said, Ness, but like he seemed very lackadaisical, and they're very content with just sparring, basically. I don't know.
Bro, the fact that they are pumping him on that channel as the number 4 in the world, I mean, who they're trying to serve him up to, because he ain't number 4 caliber, bro. He's got to go back to the... Listen, I never liked saying this shit, but we've seen it before the Diego Chavez win, and I held my mouth or bite my tongue, whatever, because he came back and he knocked out Diego Chavez in 2 rounds, and I thought highly of Diego, so I'm giving him credit for that. But now you in there with a softie. And no, Abel Ramos isn't a softie. I don't mean that in disrespect, but it was meant to be your shine hometown fight. And you still getting your braids knocked loose. Like, that shit don't make no sense. Or ponytail, whatever the fuck he got going on. You got way too much hair to be fighting, to be getting hit. Because if you're gonna have all that hair, don't get hit so you don't look that bad. Nigga knocking the hairdo off you and shit. Like, I don't get this dude. He's tall as hell. He could box, but he doesn't box. He's been in there with all of the top guys as an amateur. So you supposed to be here, bro. So I'm gonna have to say that it is my opinion that at this point, after 2 very bad performances in the beginning of this guy's career, he's still a prospect, an old one too, because everyone else,
the people scared
to ring with, what?
I wouldn't say he's a prospect. I think,
of course he is. He hasn't won a title. He hasn't fought for one, and he suffered a loss. He's absolutely a prospect. You are only in a contender when you can beat a contender and be in title contention.
Well, there's a reason why they're promoting him as a number 4 ranked guy in the division.
Because they want to give him a title shot, but he just shit the bed. That's the whole point of the show.
Or maybe not a title shot, but like a name fight. So like a Danny, a Sean, a Amir Khan.
He just shit the bed. He just shit the bed. They need to change his trainer. Listen, Kevin Cunningham is doing a phenomenal job marketing himself and his Camp Cunningham on Instagram. The Adrian Broner 25-8 series with Gervonta Davis obviously documents all of that. He's just now bought a new location from what it looks like that is huge with tennis rackets and all this extra shit, Matt. So listen, maybe go down there, bro. At least you're going to be getting world-class sparring where this shit that we saw, that could at least be corrected in camp, because the bending over, the fucking poor accuracy, that right hand never landed flush. I mean, look, I don't even want to talk about him anymore. I'm done. We could get to the callers, really.
I agree.
All right, so the number is 1-425-569-5241. Press 1. And don't forget that nothing we say isn't intentionally to offend your favorite fighter, yourself.
Maybe.
This is just our opinion. and our listeners. That's all. So you can add us on Skype at Nestor Gibbs, NESTORGIBBS. I want to go to this guy. I don't think he's ever called in. His name is Mo Osama. We don't have any ringers, right? No ringers over there. But he has an avatar like if he's from Dubai. So I just want to fucking see.
OMG. I am so excited.
Like he's a sultan or something and shit. So Mo, talk to me, brother. First time calling in?
Yeah.
Where you calling in, my friend? From where are you calling, my friend?
UK.
Oh, the UK. What's up with the avatar, bro? You got me thinking you're like in Abu Dhabi or some shit over here. Like you're being chauffeured around, bro. But talk to us.
I don't think it's $100 million fight. It's not. For it to be $100 million fight, you'd have to have 4 to 5 million pay-per-view buys in the UK.
How many pay-per-view buys?
4 to 5.
4 to 5 million?
Yep. And I don't think if Klitschko was 1.1, 1.2, I think maximum 2, maybe 2.5. You guys are not factoring in the network cut from the revenue, the fight revenue, and it's about 40%. So I think it will generate around about 60 million, and then you divide it by 40%, and then that's the fighter's cut.
But that's just pay-per-view.
No, and wait a minute. You're talking about the revenue anyway. We were talking about Deontay Wilder making a counteroffer and being able to provide
you guys
that
were
money.
talking about it was $100 million fight. It's not.
Well, you're only counting one revenue stream.
Yeah, and you're only counting one offer. You're only counting the UK offer or the UK analogy, period.
Okay, if you was to take the US offer, you could.
It still does 1 million pay-per-view buys in the UK.
In the US,
it still does 1 million pay-per-view buys in the UK. At least the UK people will stay up for that fight, and it will do if it's prime time in the US, it will do 500,000 pay-per-view buys at least.
You're talking like both fighters have fought in the US. None of them have. Let's talk realistic.
How many times did Lennox Lewis fight in the U.S. before he fought Tyson and made 100 million in that fight?
He fought Holyfield. He fought a lot of fighters in the U.S.
Well, there you go. Maybe your boy Eddie is right. We'll never know. We'll never know. Anything else, brother?
Nah.
All right, Mo. Well, thanks for calling in from the UK, man. We're gonna get out to
again, because I don't think we did like the best job of breaking down the revenue for the fight. You gotta think about this: US TV or pay-per-view, UK pay-per-view. Then you have the site fee. Then you have attendance or the box office, and then you have any other international distribution rights you have: France, Germany, Africa, Asia. You name it. Those are all individual revenue streams. Then you have advertisers. Then you have sponsors. To say that it can't get at least 60 million, I think it's pretty ridiculous at this point.
Man, I think to say they don't get to 100 is stupid, bro. Like we just hypothetically said what certain people would give up front for. We didn't even talk about what it's gonna generate. We spoke of what MGM, what Showtime, what people would give up front. How much you think Corona's gonna give to be the fucking ring apron or Tecate or Hennessy? Like, bro. People are just dumb, and Eddie thinks we're all dumb, but I'm not fucking dumb. God gave me this show to teach our casual listeners how to be hardcores and not be spoon-fed the rhetoric that's going around. He got my own fucking co-host saying the fucking words. I can't believe it. Yeah, we're talking about you. Let's go out to New Jersey.
Yeah, just like king is what I mean. My style back. The king is what I mean. My man, get a cup and put some change inside your hand. Now hold up. Let's make this official. Everybody let's agree that.
I mean, did you fall asleep?
That nervous moment when Amin calls in and it's quiet.
Antonio in Albany.
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up?
Yo, so let me be real quick on this Joshua Wilder fight. Man, in my opinion, first off, man, the fight is not going to take place in the U.S. I would think if it would take place in the U.S. in Las Vegas, the fight could really do big numbers, and I would think Wilder would deserve more money being that it's in the U.S. But being that it's going to be in the U.K. on Hearns and Joshua's terms, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I just feel like he should take that 12.5 or maybe bump it up, 15 million. The fight's not going to be on pay-per-view. If it's going to take place in the UK, it's going to be at 5 o'clock. No one's going to pay pay-per-view at that time.
Well, Antonio,
So
Antonio, your entire theory is based off UK. Remember, this show is based off Wilder making a counter offer to Joshua, and the indication of that coming from Brian Custer, indicating that the fight and the offer is for multiple locations, the UK and US, Las Vegas.
Okay, so you know what? I didn't really hear that information. So if it does take place in the US and Las Vegas, then hell yeah, it should be big. Anthony Joshua going to the US for the first time. They should promote that, and obviously, I just feel like Wilder already is promoted well in the US. Everyone knows both of these guys, but Joshua comes to the US, it would make things even bigger, and the UK fans will actually come over to the US. You already know that. But man, if it takes place in Las Vegas, then let's take that counter offer. Then I really didn't know that information, but let's see what happens, man. I mean, man, it's gonna happen, but we gotta be patient with it, man. You guys been doing shows on this shit for the last month or so, man. It's just you gotta be patient, man. You gotta be patient, and that's about it. I mean. I don't know what else to say, but let's make the fight happen, man. But let's just be patient. And I really don't know what else you guys are talking about. What else you guys talking about real quick before I let you guys
Jamal
go?
James, who fought Abel Ramos in his hometown. Chris Colbert took on another undefeated fighter on Fox Sports 1.
Vargas Salka.
Toyota.
No, you know what? I did see that fight. I really wasn't paying attention, but I did see my man. He's not my man yet, but I feel like he's going to be the shit. What's his name? Aaron McKenna, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be nice, man.
Yeah, man. He's fucking showing some big time power and very good body shots too. Shout out to Aaron McKenna. Shout out to Rachel.
Yeah, man. I think he's gonna be nice, man. But we'll see what Golden Boy does with him. But that's about it, man. Can't wait for next weekend. Fucking Vargas is gonna knock out fucking Broner again, bro. Just like Madonna. You already know. I'm out. Peace, guys.
Thank
you. All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in. Listen, before we transition into another caller or anything else, I do want to say that this is why I love this show and I love you guys, right? Like, I just had an epiphany right here. It was like, Ness, you're busting blood vessels. It's too soon for that. Because not only does every super fight not have an offer that is a flat fee, but every super fight also, you know what it also has, guys? Let me see how good of boxing fans you are. You know what every super fight has?
What?
Every single one.
What? Just tell us.
Just tell us. You're such a fucking loser.
It could be anything, Ness. God knows what epiphany you're having.
It can only be one thing.
Yo.
And that one thing is failed negotiations. You have to have one. Truly one. Think about it. There's always one.
There is. Yeah, no, that is pretty true.
Failed negotiation. Somehow the A side always manages to not agree to get another fight before the fight. It always works. It always works like that. I just thought about it. It's like, bro, and sometimes you don't get a fight before the fight, but you do get a failed negotiation. Remember, even Mayweather with the gloves, and she's like, "Oh, well, fuck it, we ain't fighting if you don't do the gloves." It's like somebody always pulls something last minute. So whatever. Any thoughts, guys, or callers?
No, I pretty much agree that is sort of like a common like trend in these big fights is at least one failed negotiation like period where these guys go back to the drawing board and go fight other guys for a period of time. That seems to be at least somewhat true, that there's a trend. So I would not be surprised at all if we get a failed negotiation here and then a Jared Miller matchup, a Dana White matchup, whoever it may be, Povetkin, God knows who.
Look, last time you done a show about people throwing their belts in the bin because of failed negotiations, we had Eddie, Wilder, Tyson Fury, Shelley Finkel all on the line. So let's just bring that up for a second.
Good times.
Very true. Let's go out to our ringer stat. He doesn't have an intro yet, right?
Oh, do you see Blog Talk?
I see Blog Talk, but I got ringers on
Okay.
Skype
No,
here.
that's fine.
Alejandro, what up?
Yo, dog, you missed me, man. You slacking.
Uh-oh.
Yo, I feel you, though. I feel you on that Wilder bullshit, man. Nobody should defend that 12.5 over, man. That was fucking disrespectful, man. It's not a race thing, man. It's a cultural thing, bro. When you see shit like that, it should make you mad, man. This guy is sneaky as fuck. You can see Eddie Hearn, that bullshit. You know when you want to sugarcoat shit? This is what he learned. You can tell he went to school. When you're going to try to convince investors or something like that, you got to sell the numbers, right? So you don't tell them, hey, man, it's going to be 20 million to do this. You're going to be, it's only 5% of the total capital cost, you know? So you make it look small. He does the same thing here. He's like, it's not a small percentage. It's 5 times his biggest payday, but it's bullshit. You know, he's just trying to make it look good, but it's really bullshit, man. This guy, it's just, man, he pisses me off, man, because that guy, he's a weasel, like Conor McGregor says, man. He said it to the wrong guy in Spinoza. You should say that to Eddie Hearn, man. You can tell, man, this guy is lying to people, man. It's obvious, man. I smell pussy.
But if Wilder wants his fight, you know, he wants his belts, you don't think 12.5, that's a lot of money. He should take it, right?
Dude, you're right. If he doesn't care about the money, he should take that shit. But you shouldn't defend that, bro. That's bitch shit to say, yeah, man, he should get exploited for that. You know, man, come on. You should act right here, man. You shouldn't defend that kind of behavior. You're right. If he really just wants the belt, maybe he should take that shit. But that doesn't make it right. You know, you should stand up for the moral thing here. He should give him a decent pay. He's not asking for more than him. He's still conceding the A side. Just give him a fair shot. Not even Joseph Parker got that kind of bullshit. And yeah, you're maybe right. Maybe they're low bowling because of that. But no, the common thing here is outrage. You should be outraged at this offer. So we push for the fight. He should give a better offer, and the fight should get made. This is always what happens in negotiations. But we should be mad. We shouldn't just be like, oh yeah, that's an okay offer. No, normally you should be mad at this bullshit that Eddie Hearn's pulling, man. Because this is what kills the sport, man. You know what I mean?
This what kills the sport.
I definitely know what you mean.
No. That's hyperbolic to say.
It doesn't fucking know.
Hold on, Alejandro. You have to admit that's hyperbolic to say that this stuff kills the sport when we've seen this stuff literally create the biggest fights in the sport's history.
No. But
what do you mean?
I gotta give him credit for this one thing.
Did Mayweather McGregor? Hold on, Mayweather McGregor was 6 years of negotiations and exactly this, but way worse, and it was still the biggest fight ever.
6 years in negotiation. I don't remember the 6 years, man. Maybe I was high because I remember Conor McGregor 6 years ago.
I'm not talking about Conor McGregor.
I don't know Conor for 6 years.
Yo,
bro.
Alejandro, I said Pacquiao because that's the biggest fight known to man, and it still is the record. So again,
also no, man. That fight could have been 100 million 3 years ago. More than 3 years ago.
But instead it became Alejandro. But then it became a $500 million fight.
We would never know because they didn't make it sooner. So I could just tell you that. You don't know how much this is going to make. You're not making it sooner, man. You know what I mean? I think, and this is what happens when you prolong fights. He's going to be like Keith Thurman. Yeah, he's going to go, I don't want to fight right now. Fight Big Baby Miller. hurt his shoulder, go into injury, 3 years off. Then I need a tune-up when I come back, and then you get no super fight, bro.
Yeah,
it
dies out. It dies out. It dies out. Listen, Alejandro, you a ringer, baby.
Obviously, if the fight's good enough.
Are you a boomerang? Are you a boomerang or a ringer?
No, I think I'm just swinging because you didn't have no more boomerangs. It was all sold out.
I know everybody wants to call back, and guess what? You're gonna want to call back right now when I switch it into this gear, bro. This is why this show can't just be listened for 15 minutes in the beginning, because this shit just gets so hot, right? When he was talking, he reminded me of one of my strongest opinions that I have about this whole entire negotiation and this $12 million bullshit offer, this flat fee garbage, right? And I was discussing it again with Danny, like I told you, right? Here's my issue. Guys, I'm testing your knowledge here. How many rematches did not happen? And I'll start with Canelo, Triple G. You name another, Matt. I should get my Jeopardy soundbite out for these fucking casuals, guys. Watch this. Go ahead, Matt.
Mayweather Pacquiao, because there's talks of rematches forever.
Ooh, shout out to Matt. Hit the horn, Matt.
Oh, I wasn't ready for that. I'm sorry. I was ready for another joke. I was ready for another shit joke on me.
Let's test Rob. Now, Rob, I'm going to give you a hint here. This is how we're going to test you, right? And this is how you can beat us, by simply naming a rematch in the UK that I wouldn't even know. But name a fight that didn't get its rematch.
Well, there was definitely talks of Hatton and Mayweather. That was going to be a return fight in this country, but obviously
never happened, right?
Nah.
Of course not.
So those are just a few. I want our listeners to do your own research, dig through your own archive in your brain, and realize things like Abner Mares being knocked down and deciding to rebuild instead of giving Johnny Gonzalez an immediate rematch to allow the now current champion to have some of those rights as a champion, to receive the higher end of the purse split as a champion. You get where I'm going with this? Because there's other fights that the rematch never happens. Like, I don't know, Prescott. How much do you think British Prescott took to fight Amir Khan? As these fucking pussy ass fans would say, oh, he should take it because he's gonna make a name. Well, how much did Prescott take to knock out Amir Khan on HBO or whatever fuck? Yeah, it was HBO, was it? I don't know. It doesn't even matter because he didn't make shit to do it and he never got the rematch.
Yeah, look at Caleb Truax. He got paid, I think, 16 times more in the rematch with James DeGale after he beat him.
Exactly, because he gave him the rematch. All right? But a flat fee? How do you even know you get a rematch? If you knock out Anthony Joshua and you take a flat fee, $12 million now, how do you know the rematch is there? How do you know that Eddie Hearn doesn't just take his champion, who's still going to be a fucking champion? He's still going to have a country, and they're going to love him even more. Being like, AJ, it's all right. You can do it. You'll be back, man. You'll be back. You can do it. And Eddie's going to say, fuck it, man. Fucking immediate rematch. You know what, man? Psst, we go back. We could do all this other stuff. We could put you in with David Price, bring you back slow, bring you back to another Dillian White fight, then come back. Why? You already got over $100 million and you're only fucking in your 21st fight. And we're talking hypothetically if he loses. This is why you don't take a flat fee. This is why you don't take a bullshit deal the first fight, because motherfuckers might not be there for the rematch. It just might not happen. You got Kell Brook coming from another country looking for Earl Spence for a rematch. It just might not be there. I bet you Gennady Golovkin thought he was going to have a rematch. All of a sudden, it ain't there. I thought there would be a rematch. We were being paid, Matt, to be at the rematch.
It's sad. It's sad. I'll say this. That epiphany you had that obviously was supposed to help with the blood vessels and stuff. That epiphany did not help with the blood vessels because you were still hyper as fuck. I have a couple points. One, I think Alejandro said this about the morality of it. You know, it's only fair. You should never expect for business dealings to be conducted in a fair and moral manner. We live in a capitalist society where it's about the survival of the fittest and get the biggest check you can get. So don't expect that if you're Wilder. But then on the flip side, you push for every dollar you can get. You push for every cent, every percent you can get on this deal because that is the way it is. This is business. Go get your money as much as you can. So, of course, he shouldn't accept the first deal that's really offered and presented to him. Now, on the $12.5 million, should he take that? It all depends on the rematch clause. You know, I think if the rematch clause, if he got a larger percentage, obviously, if he got over 50% in the rematch clause, I think it would be a little bit different. But I don't know if that was there. We didn't hear anything about a rematch clause.
Well, there's another part of the audio that I did send to the pre-pro that I guess Nez didn't choose it, but Eddie brings up, like, you should take this because you know why? In the rematch, you know, if you're confident you're going to win this, you take this now, and then the rematch, he said, you'll get double what you got in this one. Then all of a sudden, you're possibly the biggest star.
But see, whoa, right there. See, that's a play on words because it's like saying, oh, it's 5 times more than his biggest payday. It's using numerology to trick casual fans and think, oh, it's a lot of money. But let's say Deontay Wilder beats AJ, double 12.5 is literally $25 million. I don't think that's fair at all if he beats AJ. He should be getting a lot of money in an AJ rematch.
Yeah, whether it's clever wordplay and it's in this, but he's just so from him saying that suggested to me that there is I was just bringing up to say that there is maybe a rematch clause in there because he brought up in the rematch you would get double what you got this time. You know, you fight again, you're the biggest star in world boxing, and you could be a free agent and do what he said you could do what the fuck you want.
Yeah. That's the bullshit that he wants to sell you, because this is what I would tell you. If you don't get a rematch versus Anthony Joshua, Robert, I want you and Matt and all the fucking listeners and the hardcore chatters, all you tough guys who want Deontay to take this slave contract.
Ness.
I'm not done.
I know.
Who's his next pay-per-view? After Joshua, who's his next pay? He's got all the belts now. He's undisputed. Who the fuck do Americans pay to watch him fight on pay-per-view if it's not fucking Anthony Joshua in the rematch? Well, if he goes to the UK, takes his $12 million, fights over there, who does he come back and fight on pay-per-view?
Ness, take a Xanax or something, man. Relax. It's okay. It's okay. Wilder's gonna get the fight. He will eventually. It's okay.
I won't be okay. I won't be okay. That's why they all here.
Now
they all here. I seen people comment saying that
Ness, please.
Wait, you got to hear this comment.
Oh
you got to hear
God.
this comment. I've seen people comment on past shows saying that they're only here so that when Joshua wins, they can see me cry.
Because that will be a funny moment if that happens.
But they're not gonna see it.
If you were here, I know you were gone for a bit, Nestor, when me and Rob were talking, but I said 12.5 without a guaranteed rematch and him getting over 50% at least of the percentage. It's disrespectful.
Everyone has a guarantee. Canelo had a guarantee rematch.
No.
Johnny Gonzalez. No. You got to understand that. Maybe you're overlooking that. Johnny Gonzalez had a guarantee rematch. The A-side still don't got to give it to you. He just walks the fuck away. It don't matter what the contracts say about a rematch. Nigga, it don't happen. They walk away.
If you actually have a contract, let's say this. Because most of the time they just have like a rematch clause, right? It's not really a full-fledged contract for the next fight already figured out. Location, purse, all that figured out. That's what they need here. Because then you sue him for breach of contract. That's what you do if you're Wilder. If you have a iron laden contract for the second fight, you sue him. Why not? Come on, man.
I'll be honest, man, I've never heard of rematch contract, only rematch clause, probably for that reason, so you won't get sued. So I doubt anyone's going to be tied down to it. It's the exact reason that people back out of their rematches, bro. You're listen, as a fighter, especially a 21 fighter, he is totally allowed the right to rebuild if he loses to Wilder and decides, you know what, I don't want an immediate rematch. There's plenty of people that didn't take an immediate rematch.
Very quickly, I will say the closest thing we have to an actual contract, like rematch contract, is the AJ Parker fight, because we knew a percentage. We knew what Parker would get in a rematch, and that I don't think we ever knew with the Andre Ward-Kovalev fight. Anything close to that, we never knew. So maybe there is something like that in boxing. We just don't know.
I want to say this really quick to Coogan, because I heard that interview, obviously this interview, right? And the relationship between him and Eddie, it really shined on this particular one, because they spoke about Eddie being on a certain talk show that I don't know, but I'm glad I finally got a UK host. Can you let our listeners know What particular talk show Eddie was supposed to be on? He was on. I did see a clip of it on Twitter, him doing impressions, but give us a little bit about that so those that don't know what I am at least discussing.
It's every Saturday on Sky Sports. It's called Soccer AM, and it's predominantly a football, well, we say football soccer show, but they just have guests on like musicians. Obviously Eddie Hearn. They've had a ton of guests on, and it's predominantly a soccer show. You get fans from a certain club on there, and they have their day out on the set, and a whole bunch of stuff, silly games and stuff.
So the point of it wasn't for any of that, but I wanted you to have back information. What I wanted you to see was the relationship between Coogan. Coogan knows that Eddie's going to be on a national syndicate television station, whatever, and Coogan says, hey, when you go up there, find a way to say the 3 letters. And now I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Listen, I've met Coogan, but now I'm going to really I fucks with this kid. This guy is no joke. He's like, find a way to say the 3 letters. And I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but I'm doing my... Exactly. He said, find a way. He told Eddie to find a way to say it, right?
And Eddie said he'd say Coogan, right? He'd say Coogan.
Yeah, he said he'd go further and say Coogan, say IFL, whatever the case may be. Show that the relationship is solid and shows that he understands that by saying IFL, it would benefit Coogan. He even used Coogan in an analogy for this Anthony Joshua fight. That's why we're not giving you all the audio. We want you to go watch this video. He did a phenomenal job. He even, I didn't like the part where he fucking chose to use his fucking Eddie, bro. Oh God, grant me the strength and the power to be big enough to have these sit downs. Yo, did you hear the part about Eddie's analogy of the fight being Pizza Hut and Wendy's?
No, please tell me this analogy.
No, he's on about the money.
I'm not going to tell you because I'm not a politician and I don't follow politics. So I would rather you listen to it and then we come back and talk about it because I'm all over with it. I got so many mixed feelings.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Papa John's and Wendy's.
Pizza Hut and Wendy's.
It
was about.
Now let me ask you. Oh my God, I'm so happy.
Time out, Ness. Hold on. Pizza Hut, Wendy's, and politics. I'm very confused. I'm definitely.
I know you are going to be. You're going to have to watch it. It's a cultural thing, and that's why I'll let you take it first because you do deal with politics. Rob, what I'll ask you is, do you guys have Pizza Hut out there?
We did.
Wendy's?
It sucks.
No, I don't think we have Wendy. Oh, I've not. I don't know of a Wendy.
I didn't think so. I'm shocked to hear you got pizza, but I didn't think Wendy's was there.
I had Pizza Hut in Paris once. It was awful.
In the chat, let us know if you got any Wendy's out there because, again, it blew my mind that he chose to use Pizza Hut and Wendy's as a metaphor for Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, hold on. Was Wendy's? Which one was Wendy's?
Bro,
come on, man. Because I'll say this.
Listen, I had to tune out. I had to tune out because I didn't understand it.
He was talking about like Coogan working at Pizza Hut, right?
Yeah.
For like $3 an hour.
Yeah, but Coogan being Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder, that was the analogy. Coogan is one of the two fighters working at Pizza Hut. The other fighter is working at Wendy's.
Oh, so Wendy's is the higher end place for him? Okay.
I don't even know, bro.
I agree with the analogy. I agree with the analogy because Wendy's is amazing. That's one of the most underrated fast food places in America.
But anyway, you need to watch it, Matt, because it goes on about how accepting the job at Wendy's, like if he was offered the job at Wendy's, it's for this much more money or whatever, and like, but
he's
the
at
risk,
£10 an hour.
Yeah, and then like the risk attached because of it being a much more pressured job, you go back and watch it and see what you think of it.
Probably some bullshit.
It is. It made no sense to use fast food restaurants. It made no sense to me to use minimum wage restaurants. You don't see people in Pizza Hut or Wendy's making anything above $15 an hour. I swear, I don't know. Someone please call me. Tell me you're a manager there and help me. Hope to believe that someone can make a little bit more there. And that'll be cool. I'm not shaming anyone. I'm simply saying minimum wage is what you're known to get in the fast food industry.
I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings, not fast food, but I started out.
Different, bro. You get tips over there. Domino's don't give you no tips.
Yeah, but my hourly wage was $12 an hour. That's so I would assume McDonald's is probably 10, somewhere around there.
Man, I doubt
This
it.
is amazing.
But anyways, we have some boomerangers, we have some ringers, and we have a mastermind to get to. So let's get to them.
Well, which one you going to first? Oh, we got. All right, I see it. We'll keep it in order.
Yeah, keep in order.
I don't know, bro. I'm telling you. I bet you. Where's JP at? That's why I need to see that motherfucking video. Where is he at, man? Let's get out to man, I want to try Amin again. I'm going to go back to you, Amin. Hopefully you woke up. We're going out to J Hardcore Boxing.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
J Hardcore Boxing. They don't know shit about boxing. BoxingVoice.com. Okay.
Hey, fellas. Hope everybody doing well. Hey, definitely enjoying the show thus far. Ness, you really on point right now about that rematch and everything, man. A lot of times we really don't get a chance to see those rematches, man. I would have loved to see Brooks against Porter over again. And just like we didn't get to see Klitschko against AJ again. So you never know what's going to happen in the future afterwards. But when they sent that 12.5, man, I mean, that was truly an insult. I mean, they basically said they ain't had no arena where they're going to do it at or when if it's going to be next or whatever. I mean, but everybody know in business, you never take the first offer. I mean, even the 12.5 would have been good if it was 12.5 and then a 60-40 on whatever the pay-per-view does. You know, that makes sense. They guarantee the 12.5, and then on the back end, you make money on whatever the pay-per-view do. That's respectable right there. But be truthfully honest, I don't think that Joshua is known enough here in the United States. I would actually like to see him fight somebody like a Miller.
I'm glad you brought that up. Since I ain't put the clock
up
on you, I'm going to just jump in and steal some of your time because in my little promotional tour, I forgot to mention truly how it sells, right? Remember Derek Chisora versus David Hay, Robert?
Yep.
How was the promotion for that?
How do you mean? How was it? What?
You're a casual fan, basically. Did you feel the promotion in your country for David Hay versus Derek Chisora?
Yeah, as a UK fan, yeah.
Okay, and you're a casual, you admit, right?
Somewhere between hardcore and casual, yeah.
Back then you were.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Hardcore. No, it's true. Hey, Jay, I'll bring you back because we never ran your clock, so we'll do it all over. You just brought an interesting point up in terms of negotiations and promotion, right? So in this 11-city press tour that we spoke of, all the cities that we had everyone, guess and give, can you imagine the buildup? And I bring up Chisora Hay because they used plexiglass to separate the two men after Hay glassed him, right? With all the words that have been said, there's going to be some animosity. As clean-cut and respectable as Joshua wants to be, he showed us those moments where he doesn't care who's around. And what matters is respect, and he already feels disrespected. Do not let anyone tell you that this fight doesn't sell itself. From the moment this press conference kicks off and Jay Diaz gets that microphone and Deontay Wilder gets that microphone and says, I've been declaring war on you for X amount of time, Joshua has to answer. And it's going to be conflict. It will sell itself. Don't let them lie to you. But all big fights have one failed negotiation. Anybody want to talk before I bring Jay back?
No, you can bring Jay back because, you need a Xanax, Mr. Blood Vessel.
You're a hater, bro. You're a hater of great radio.
Bring Jay back on.
Hey, yeah, but I would like to see Joshua come over here and do something because, the Parker fight was a snooze fest, man, and I would like to see Joshua come over here and fight somebody like Miller, knock him out, and get people chatting more about him over here. You're right, the fight does sell itself, but there's a lot of casuals that do not know who Anthony Joshua is. And like you say, a build up from city to city after he done knocked out somebody over here would make the fight just even more bigger, man. And you know how Wilder sells the shit automatically. And Joshua will started talking shit, just like when what was he fighting Brazil, and they got to talking a little shit, and Joshua was talking shit back. So I feel though that we get him over here, let him fight at the Barclay. He say he want to rumble now. Let him rumble. Knock his ass out. That gets the chatter going, and then start the whole promotional kickoff with him and Wilder. I bet you it'll make the fight huge as shit, and he might even want to do it here then after that. That's pretty much all I wanted to say, fellas. People, please sign in and get Pacquiao.
Patreon, Jay, Patreon.
Boomerang, whatever. Patreon, I'm sorry.
But we get it, man. That is you showing love. Man. That is you showing love and making sure that people support the way that you do. So we appreciate it, Jay. You can mess it up all day, man. Thank you for being a boomerang. Remember to press 1. Remember to press 1 right now so Matt knows when you want to come back. You got to press 1 more time. All right, brother? Let me get on out to some other callers. Any more boomerang?
Yes,
we got a mastermind. Wow. We got a lot here. Trying to get on out to
Canada.
My boy, Jose.
Popping all this champagne, popping all this rosé, getting money like Jose, chain code Norway. Shorty wants that full play. I'm like, no way. Got a rock like Coldplay, killing it.
Jose.
Yo, boys, what's going on?
What up?
Yo,
How you doing?
Hear me, yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, what up? Yo, where do I start, man? I got to attack a couple of you guys here first. First of all, Robbie is such a UK fucking lover. It's unreal. Who gave a shit about Mayweather Hatton rematch? Nobody. Bad example. As well with this, you know what? I'm tired of everyone saying Anthony's the biggest star in boxing. It's because he fights in his home court. If Canelo fought in the Azteca in Mexico City, you don't think he'd sell out 110,000 fans every single fight? Has anyone ever spoke of that? Like, let's just keep it real, man. Of course, you know, the Americans don't build up their fighters good enough. They spread them around all over the place. But also Canelo and Triple G is going to make way more money than Anthony Joshua ever could against Deontay Wilder. Never easy to you, Ness. Deontay Wilder's a fucking liar too, man. He called into your show promising you, I'm going to go to UK, and he was lying to you right to your face, lying to us, the fans. So I don't believe anything that fucker says either, man. Plain and simple. You know what? I'm starting to get tired of this fight and these guys talking because they're never even going to do it, man. And if they do, like, I'm just fucking get it over with and do it already, man. Best rematch that never happened was De La Hoya against Trinidad, man. That's all I got. I'm salty. I'm hating it. Whatever. I'm out. Peace.
Bye, Jose. Been a good one.
That was great.
That was very Jose-like. Going out to Ron, the mastermind. Again, if you don't know what these things are, go to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. Get, tons of perks and, of course, hours and hours and hours of extra content, podcasting, boxing content, etc. Ron, what up?
What's up? What's up?
Mr. Badlink.
Pretty intense call, but first off, my bad, Robert, earlier for sending the wrong link. But he was actually making some good points slightly on like the whole Triple G and Canelo thing and like their location. It's really, I don't think it's gonna make $100 million. If they do it right, it could. But when you look down like all the top pay-per-view guys, all of them have been on pay-per-view at some point before they made the super pay-per-view fight. And so it's really tough how, the whole negotiation thing is going on. They're going to try and steal all of it from Deontay. Deontay does need to sell a little bit more. Even like Buster Douglas was even on pay-per-view at a point, and when he fought Evander Holyfield. So a lot of these guys still have been built up more than Wilder. So maybe Wilder might get it. If he doesn't get this fight, they need to probably test the Waters out with pay-per-view. Even Triple G, who didn't really do that great on pay-per-view, still was on pay-per-view, kind of helped out the Canelo situation, justified about maybe some of the negotiation. But the rematch thing, I think probably the big rematch that didn't happen that probably should have was the De La Hoya and Mayweather, the whole 1 year clause thing, where Mayweather said, I'm retired, I'm out, and then comes back later. So there's a lot of loopholes in those rematches. So really good points. But yeah, that's it. That's my call.
Thank you, Ron. Very quickly, I want to bring up, you brought up how most of the big pay-per-views we've seen, it's because those guys have a history of pay-per-view. I will say this. When you are a pay-per-view star, your numbers can fluctuate a lot. Look at Mayweather, look at Canelo. Their numbers have fluctuated from, 2 million, 4 million, down to 300,000 pay-per-view buys. That is a big, gigantic difference in terms of revenue. When Canelo fought guys like Liam Smith, he only did 300,000 something pay-per-view buys. You fight guys like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., a matchup we hardcores don't care about, but captures that public imagination, it does 1 million pay-per-view buys.
Yeah.
Triple G, who's always done awful pay-per-view numbers, catches the imagination with Canelo for that matchup and does almost 2 million pay-per-view buys.
Exactly why you shouldn't believe Eddie Hearn when he uses Triple G as a reason why this fight won't make any money.
Yes.
Because it's dumb. He's like, oh, look at Triple G. He'd never been able. But what about with Canelo where it did over 1 mil? It's whatever, man.
Agreed.
We're going out to, is it Porgy or we got any more booze?
No. Oh, no. I think we have to go to. No, you're right. Porgy.
Yeah, bro.
Yo, first of all, let me say, I don't pay showtime to see you all there not even putting a goddamn motherfucking effort. If I want to see some motherfucker just fight, I pick up a fight with somebody in the street. Don't need that shit. You don't love that sport, my dude? Just move along. Gone. Fuck you. Next, what a great show. Thumbs up, donate. Hey, yo! What's happening, people?
That's what I'm talking about, Georgie. Bring it.
So, Rob, let me holler at you, baby. Rob, we never talk, baby. Get that lying out of you, that liking. That motherfucker out there for the UK, baby. High energy. Might have to give you a blood transfusion or some shit. So, you deal with Eddie Hearn. You know more about the UK than anybody on the panel, so I'm going to ask you if it is true or not. It is true that Eddie Hearn put on the contract that Deontay Wilder got to go on 2 knees in the middle of the ring and ask for forgiveness for all the tomato cans that he fought?
No.
Is it what's on the contract or not?
No, I don't think that's on the contract now.
Man, these people putting these lies out there. What about the about the part that he got to go and ask for forgiveness for the fucking dive that fucking Malik Scott took? You're not going to ask for forgiveness there? It's not on the contract?
Nah, that's maybe in the small print, but I'm not sure.
These aren't even funny.
Oh, fuck that. If you're not going to do that, give him no fight. Fuck that. Tell him to take his 5% and jet. That's it. Don't want to hear no more of that bullshit then. Fuck that. Listen.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Woo! Let's smell, baby. Mr. Gibbs, what's going on? Shouldn't be putting all your eggs on that basket, baby. Put all eggs on that basket. Ain't nobody got time for this. Mr. Gibbs.
What up, Porgy?
What's going on, brother? Listen, you gotta chill. You gotta chill, B. Straight out. We cannot have these self-inflicted
Doggy,
wounds.
why should I chill, Georgie? You're the one that's still licking your wounds from your Kelbrook teabagging. You're still licking your wounds from your Amir Khan teabagging. I don't understand. What UK guy actually keeps his title? Like, it's inevitable. That's why they're doing all this. Because it is inevitable.
He's keeping it nice and warm over there on that side of the pond. He ain't got no problem keeping those shit. Yeah, listen, your boy gonna fight Brazil for $1 million. That's it. That's what's gonna happen at the end.
They do respect the Eddie.
There he goes.
They do respect
The AJ protector comes out. The AJ protector comes out. He's gonna fight for $1 million. You worried about money? We talking fights. You talking money?
You talking money? You be talking money for the last 3 months? What you
No.
talking about?
I got to do a job.
Listen,
I got to do a job. But you are a hardcore fan. You are a hardcore fan. You should be talking about the fight. You talking about money because you ain't no fucking fan.
Listen.
You a vampire.
Wilder. Listen.
Sucking at UK. Sucking at UK.
Yo. Wilder ain't got no choice, baby. This is not even a conversation. It's over.
Georgie.
He sack a weed and he spell Jordan as a counter offer and stick it over his anal. We're moving along. Peveskin, nigga. That's what we got next.
Georgie, very quickly.
It is an alien force, not of this world.
Go back to your tinfoil hat motherfucking days, man.
Be out, bro. You got issues, man.
Yo, I'll just say this. Those jokes in the beginning were really bad. Like, they weren't even funny.
Yo, does Wilder gotta get in his knees and say sorry for the 40 balls he fought? Yo, Dominique told me, how could anybody call into your show? Is if after they talk, you ridicule them and you call them pussies and all type of. And I'm like, yo. For one, I only do that to the tough-skinned people, but
Georgie needs to be a boomerang. That's what Georgie
I'm
needs.
everywhere. You never there. Why would I ever care? Pound for pound, the toughest fucking reporter to ever come around here. Let's go out to Javier Dudley. Javier, what's up, brother?
What's up? Hey man, y'all keep saying Wilder not. I mean, y'all saying people saying Wilder not have enough draw. Like people saying don't have enough draw to get fucking viewers in. But I mean, if you look at his numbers, I mean, he promotes himself pretty well. He's been on the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club thing he did got over 1 million views. I mean, some shit that they put on there, like Tyron Woodley, the UFC fighter, only got 300,000 views. So Wilder's bringing some type of views in. Remember he had a big view on when Tyson Fury stepped into the ring with him that time. When Tyson Fury stepped in after Wilder fought, that shit had a lot of heat behind it until Tyson Fury went and did some stupid shit. Got on that shit. I mean, I feel like the American people, I mean, it's kind of like Americans telling Americans as usual. Like how Anthony Joshua got the Under Armour deal and he got the Beats deal and the Rock behind him and shit. It's like, well, Wilder was a champ before Joshua, and he didn't get none of that shit from Americans. People just turn their back on him. You know, they just ignore that he's a champion. They get behind the cool, the nice talking British guy. They don't want to back the fucking American champ. I mean, but it's whatever. I think they could get over 1 million views in America easy if it's promoted right with the 11. I mean, going to different places around the world promoting it, because Wilder promotes fights in his press conferences. Everybody remember when fucking Stavern talked all that shit, then he got slumped on the ropes. So I mean, Wilder's body of work speaks for itself, basically. If you just show a fucking highlight reel of his knockouts, that's gonna bring views easily. You put that shit on ESPN, fucking Fox Sports, all that other shit. You put it on there and put it in front of people's face and tell them that it's gonna be a fucking fight of the century shit. Just put a name on top of it as well. That can promote the shit easily. So I feel like people sleeping on how big the fight could be. This could be one of the biggest fights.
No one is sleeping. They're just being brainwashed.
That's true. Brainwashed, sleep. I mean, I just feel like this shit could be. It could hit well over 1 million in America if it's promoted right.
My man, listen. What fucking show isn't gonna want Wilder and Joshua? So you telling me Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman with that chick ain't gonna want him on First Take, and Sports Center ain't gonna want him, and every fucking body else, fucking the Breakfast Club ain't gonna want him. I mean, please, Eddie is blowing smoke up the world's ass because he needs to pump the brake. Listen to the interview, for God fuck. I mean, I can't understand how I'm the only one that could hear this shit. The man said sometimes you gotta pump Joshua because he says he wants to fight for the next 8 to 10 years. Well, that you gotta go this way. What the fuck does that mean? That means not fight him so that this guy has a longer career. Like, why is it me that needs to decipher this shit for people? Like, fuck.
I got one more question before I go. So, a flat fee. Why the fuck would anybody take a flat fee in a super fight, seeing that you don't know how big the fight can be? So taking percentages would make more sense, because if I take a percentage, say the fight does more than it's supposed to do, I get fucked over by taking a flat fee, and this shit is fucking a super fight. Because if I sign the contract and then we say we have something big go on at the press conference, a fight breakout or something that brings more eyes to it, I take $12.5 million, which is way under what he should be taking for it. And now this fight's worth well over $100 million. I get fucked out. This guy gets $90 million, and I'm sitting here with 12 mil. That's bullshit.
Something is bound to happen at one of them press conferences. At the very least, their camps will fight, man. At the very least.
Deontay brother's crazy.
At the very least, their camps will fight. Like, don't give me that bullshit. Sell that bullshit to somebody else, Eddie. I ain't buying it. Javier, thank you for calling in. Ed Brown, holla at me. Ed, must be just listening. Yo. Sending them whack ass offers around here, man. Them offers, the envelope on them offers say, we don't really want to fight. That's what the hell that should say. So Gary, Dallas, yeah, sure. That's why I already proved no super fight has a flat fee.
Yeah. What's up, Boxing Voice?
What up?
Gary, wait a minute, Gary. Let me stop. No. I haven't even hit the clock. This is a Patreon only question. Yeah. Tell me your last name starts with K, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I sent you something, and I called you that day, and you didn't answer, so you're getting whatever size I sent you. It's your fault.
Whole squad full of fucking killers, I'm a killer too. Sending shots, nigga. Everybody get pop, nigga.
Yo, I'm hype. I'm drinking coffee too. That's right.
Can I go now?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. You're not going to like this. Let me start with this question, and maybe Matt will know the answer, because I know the answer. How many heavyweight fights in the history of boxing have done $100 million?
It don't matter, because Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson did. That's all that we need. We don't need no more examples. Yeah. That one did. That one has a UK guy and an American.
The other one is Tyson Holyfield. Okay, you want to know the difference between this fight, the Tyson Holyfield fight, and the Tyson Lewis fight is? I'll tell you right now. The average sports fan knows and loves those guys. You call up, you're in New York now, you're in Jersey, call up 660 WFAN, right? Matt, you're in LA, call 570 AM.
Gary, your whole
Joshua is.
Your whole theory is whack because you're basing it off the world knowing those guys. Of course we know them now. Did we know them as much back then?
You knew them then.
Did we know him as much back then?
Tyson and Evander Holyfield, 100%.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson was the biggest athlete.
I'm talking about Lennox Lewis. I'm talking about Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson.
Ness. I mean, that fight was in 2002, and Mike Tyson won his heavyweight championship in '86. So he had,
What about Lennox, man?
Lennox reigned in the '90s. Lennox reigned in the '90s. So again, because that fight was so late in their career, of course it did big numbers.
Well, once officially, but call up right now, because if you want to do $100 million, you don't need boxing fans. You need the casual sports fan, the average sports fan, to buy that fight. You call up right now. You call up your local radio station. Ask them who Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua is. They have no clue who that is. They'll ask you what team they play for or what sport they play. They'll have no clue what you're talking about.
60 seconds.
I mean, that's not necessarily true. I mean, when I hold on.
You're not going to spend $70 to watch.
Gary, very quickly. I mean, I drive around, listen to radio all the time with my kid, and I hear after fights, I hear talks about fights all the time, especially if it's a Deontay Wilder fight. When he knocked out Luis Ortiz, I heard that on LA radio all the time that next Monday.
I didn't hear 2 words about it. I heard there was a little article in the New York Times that if you put your thumb on it, you would have seen it. That's the only thing I saw of any of the major. Okay, prove me wrong. Call up 57. You're in LA, right, Matt? Call up 57.
Yo, Gary, hold on, Gary, relax, Gary, relax. Let me mute you for a second. Just relax, okay? Everyone's blowing a blood vessel here. It's okay.
No, that means it's a big fucking fight.
I know.
$100 million fight.
I'll say this, Gary. I'm talking about like music radio, non-sports radio. Talks about Deontay Wilder after a knockout. Yes, they do. If you don't hear it, maybe you're not listening to your local radio at that time. That happens because not all radio is on stream. You can't watch on YouTube afterwards on playback. You had to be in the car at that time when the radio was on. Or call in at the radio station, whatever the fuck you do. I mean, most radio stations, you can't even call in anymore. I mean, so Gary, to act like the sporting fans do not have some inklage of knowledge of these two guys, I think is a little bit disingenuous when we have guys like Dr. Dre hitting them up. I have casual sporting fans that watch baseball and basketball and football, and they hit me up about Deontay Wilder. They hit me up about this fight.
Last night with all the other stars, man. Nobody ain't trying to hear that garbage.
Now, Gary, I'm gonna go back to Gary and let you finish your call. A little 30 seconds, finish it up. But to say that people don't know, they do. They do. It may not be Mayweather numbers. They may not be Tyson numbers. But it could be $60 million. It could be $80 million fight. It could do big numbers.
60, maybe. What I'm saying is, in America, how many pay-per-view sales do you think it's going to do? 250, 300? Like an Andre Ward fight? It ain't going to do much more than that.
Whoa, time out. Gary, you're right there. Gary, I can't let you go on it with those disingenuous numbers. That's false. Because Andre Ward was not 300,000. Andre Ward was 165,000 pay-per-view buys. So if it was 300, that means it would double the Andre Ward numbers. And 300,000 pay-per-view buys is around $18-20 million of revenue. So let's not act like that's a chump change right there.
Yeah, but to compare light heavyweights to actual heavyweights and to compare a Russian that doesn't speak English to 2 English-speaking, please, giants. I mean, Gary, you're really in your bag, but keep going. Keep going. You're entertaining some of the people, I'm sure.
We're going back to you, Gary, because we love you, Gary.
All right. Thank you. Prove me wrong. Call up 660 right now. We'll go WFS.
Hey, Gary. Wait a minute. Hold on, Matt. Let me get this one.
Let me get point before I go.
No. Matt, Gary, why don't you patch us through when you get them on the line?
Or you ask. I mean, you can do this yourself.
Do that. Well, you okay? But I want you to see. It's not because we live in a bubble. We live in a bubble where everyone knows who Jamal James is. We live in a bubble where everyone knows who.
No, we don't. We don't live in that bubble because I damn sure know that everyone doesn't know who the fuck Jamal James is. I just think that more people know Anthony Joshua than people think.
Knows who that is.
Look, Gary. Hold on, Gary. Gary. Hold on, Gary.
These are those guys in the U.S.
Gary, I just had an hour-long phone call conversation with my old frat brother who only knows guys like a Mayweather. Who when we called up and he called me, he wanted to talk about Mayweather McGregor, right? And then the next thing he talked about. Yeah, what about that Joshua and Wilder fight, right? The guy from the UK. Like, is that happening? I've been hearing stuff about that. So again, the casual sporting fans are starting to pick up on it. We don't have evidence of it, but this is the fight where it happens. This is the transcending moment for both gentlemen. It may not happen yet, but this is it.
He still got the WBC Muhammad Ali belt. No matter what anyone wants to say, the casual fan recognizes that belt. It don't matter who he got it from. You talking about? Listen to me, Gary. Gary, you can't rebuttal what you haven't heard. You can't rebuttal what you haven't heard. All right. And you're talking about casuals and this not being able to generate 100 million unless they can get the interest driven from casuals. Well, that belt represents that. That's why you parade them in an 11-city tour like Mayweather Canelo and show them that animosity every single time at the podium and show that fucking belt. That belt that casuals know. Stop the lies, man. It's a heavyweight fight.
Let me get to my final point.
You got like 100 final points.
I promise I'll go. All right. Real quickly though, if Deontay Wilder doesn't take this fight, he's fighting Dominic Brazil for $1 million. His last 3 fights, he's averaged.
Here goes an AJ protector. Here goes an AJ protector. Why you worried about what he's making? Why you worried about what he's making? Oh, if he doesn't take this, he's gonna make $1 million.
Ness, hold on, Ness, let him finish. Let him finish his call, Ness. Let him finish his call. We've been on for a bit. Let him finish his call.
What I'm saying is, if he fights twice a year and makes an average of $1.5 million, it would take him 8 fights for 4 years to make $12 million. Now he's getting offered that for 1 fight, and you guys say it's chump change. He may not make that the rest of his entire career without AJ.
Gary, we're all extremely excited. We're all extremely excited that you know math, brother.
Quick maths.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We still love you, though. Yo, let me tell you something, right? Because I'm telling you, I had the same debate with fucking Danny, bro. This whole...
By the way, when you say Danny, we don't know who you're talking about, but...
Yeah, it's a listener. I made that clear in the beginning of the show in case you were a new listener.
I don't know if you made that connection that Danny is the guy.
You didn't get it. Matt.
I got it.
I got it, but I would say the new listener did not maybe connect that who you're talking about.
I connected it a long time ago, bro.
No, you didn't.
Made me lose my point. Where was I going, Matt? What was a couple of words you let me get out before you
argument with Danny
cut me off?
It's an argument about Danny. That's all.
Danny, the 12 million. Wait, it was a connection to what Gary said. Fucking
what? 1 million. 1 million for a fight. He has to do that 8 fights.
Yes.
Fantastic mathematics.
I love having 2 co-hosts, yo, because guess what? 3 brains are better than 1.
2.5.
So, yo, Deontay, if he doesn't take this fight, I'll be as equally upset as everyone else, right? But he has to fight 3 more times this year. He's got to fight.
That's not happening.
Brazil, Dylan White, Povetkin, or that guy Adam Wanaki, since he's like number 9 in the BC. He's got to fight, and he's got to club a lane. Every single time AJ fight, he's got to be there. He can't keep this egotistical bullshit up. You got to cramp this dude's style. You're going to have to show up. You're going to have to fucking shame him. You got to do what Shane Mosley did to Floyd. You got to do what Floyd did to Oscar De La Hoya. You got to let history repeat its motherfucking self. It's so frustrating. It's
you
so
gotta
frustrating.
let it repeat itself. Oh my god.
He doesn't want He doesn't want the 5 million from Dillian White either.
Because he wants the real fight, the one that means something. And you as a boxing fan should be saluting that instead of this in-between fight.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Guess what? The in-between fight that all these fucking weirdos keep calling in about, that's for the casual, Robbie. You are hardcore.
But Ness,
yeah, but
that's what strips me out.
Ness,
Hold
Ness,
on,
Ness. That's
what strips me out, that hardcores care about the money and all that shit, because we know him.
Ness.
We don't need it to be built up. We know him.
Ness, relax. You've been cutting off Robbie. I mean, relax. It's okay.
You relax.
Robbie's point, I think, and correct me, Robbie, is the idea that if you can't get the AJ fight, then fight White, because that's a lot of money still. I think was more of Rob's point. That like you said, if he can't fight AJ, fight 3 times this year, one then be White, and that's more than $1 million, guaranteed.
Well, I did mention White in the list of 3 people, my friend.
I know that, but again, talking about. Well, Ness, relax. Again, you were so hostile. We're talking about Gary. Talking about he had to fight 8 times. Dylan White's an option. Povetkin's an option. Those are both fights that will make him more money than $1 million.
But he doesn't want Dylan White fight because he just wants the Joshua fight. Now he's been offered the Joshua fight. He apparently doesn't want to take it.
Well, again, the offer, from what we know, is not. It's at best the same offer that Joseph Parker got, and that makes 0 sense. Joseph Parker is a percentage point, like a single digit of the level of draw that Deontay Wilder is. So the idea that he got 33%, 32%, whatever the fuck you want to say, and Wilder got offered the same thing, it's not a good offer. Like at plain value, you have to compare the two and say, well, one guy was offered this, and like same guy another guy's offered the same thing, but one guy's a way bigger star than the other. That doesn't make sense.
But there's numerous times about not wanting the money. I just want that legacy.
Yo, but then we have numerous times of AJ talking about, hey, we don't negotiate in the media, and then literally give an offer and a contract out in front of the media. So I mean, if we want to talk about contradictions, we can't talk about contradictions and how that negates what is right in terms of what a guy should fight for. If Deontay Wilder is offered the same thing as a guy that was less of a star than him, why should he accept it? Why? Can you answer that?
If you're going to say about contradictions, one saying we don't talk about negotiations on a YouTube channel is different to one guy saying I'm not interested in money, I just want the fight, and then not accepting the money that is offered. That's a totally different point to someone saying we don't talk about contracts on YouTube channels and then mentioning them. People are latched on to what Deontay Wilder has said on shows, on articles and stuff. And that is the ammunition that they're throwing at him.
That's great. That's ammunition. That's great. That's ammunition. But I don't give a fuck about that ammunition because we know it's business. And anybody in business is going to argue and negotiate for the highest fucking check they can get. So the idea that, oh, well, he said it because he was talking some shit on the radio. So, oh, we should just give him 5%. Fuck that, right? No, fuck that. That makes no sense. If you want a guy, especially a boxer who gets hit in the head for a living, you want him to get paid the best he can get. So no, he should not get 33%. And if you want him to get less than he deserves, then you are a bad boxing fan. You are a bad boxing podcaster if you think that.
All I'm saying, Matt, is he said money is not a problem. It's not an issue.
I understand. I don't give a fuck about that. How many times do I have to say that? Because obviously he's going to he's going to negotiate for the biggest check he can get. Right? And he knows his worth. He knows what he brings in for viewership, for gate, all this money. He knows what he brings in, and it's more than Joseph Parker. So why is he getting offered the same percentage?
I don't know. Maybe he's got the same one bout. Well, not the same bout, but one bout just like Parker did. AJ's got the three.
But AJ's
whatever.
AJ's point's all about money. So he's like, I bring in the views. I bring in 90,000 people, so I should get the bigger percentage.
His actual statement is something like, I've been doing all the work over here, and now you want to come and dictate? That was a paraphrase anyway, you know. I was paraphrasing.
It's just what A-side say, though, right?
It is what A-side say.
So
it is. That's what Canelo told Triple G, but people were very upset at Canelo. They called him chicken and everything. Mayweather, they made memes of Mayweather and put KFC chicken, which was racial. They changed it and put Mayweather's face when he wouldn't fight Pacquiao and agree to terms. So all I'm saying is let's be fair. The double standards are really whack.
And hold on, before we go to the caller, I want to say this.
What? There is no callers to go to.
Yes, there is.
Oh yeah, 256.
And Ron the Mastermind. He has that boomerang because he's a mastermind. I would say this. We could have said the same thing about Triple G. Triple G is all about big drama show. He just wants to fight. He said that numerous times. But we didn't give him shit for not taking the flat fee because we knew he deserved more than that. Same thing with Wilder. We know he deserves more than what Joseph Parker got.
And the same argument exists, Matt, because for the people that said, no, he should take a flat fee, 10 million is more than what he ever got. Look how many pay-per-view buys were there.
And imagine what he really got paid. So, I think
this guy Wayne is hilarious. Bro, I shout, but you tune in. You obviously like my fucking shouting. The problem and the difference is you prefer to type. You're a typer.
He should try it with headphones on. My God.
You know what I'm saying? Like 256. I believe that's Philly.
No. Hold on. We gotta go to Ron the Mastermind.
Wow, Matt.
I'm sorry. We go to 256. We can go to 256.
I'm sure Ron will understand.
But yeah, I'm sure Ron will understand. But
at this point, after Ness messed up and didn't go to Ron, I mean, might as well go to 256 after he opened. He said something. What'd you say there, buddy? First time calling in?
Nah, this is Ed Brown, man. Your damn Skype wasn't working right, so I just called in. So
lucky you got in, brother. Lucky you got in.
I pushed my way in, you know what I'm saying? But straight up though, I don't know that new guy that you guys got over there, the UK guy. Like some of the stuff you're saying is so annoying and disrespectful. Wilder said, don't worry about my pocketbook. And he wasn't referring. If I think about it, y'all was talking about the Dylan White fight.
Exactly. I told him that
statement he said from this point on.
I told Rob
and that's
that.
a joke. You know what? That's Yeah, and the silly part about it is this ain't about money. This ain't no back and forth stuff and all this nonsense you're going through. The reality of the situation is my champion beats your champion. That's all it is to it. So while we're doing all this negotiating and fumbling around, ain't none of us done no $1 million deal. So I don't think it's really our place to act like we're experts on the subject. We can offer our opinions, but some opinions are better than others. You know what I'm saying? So let's just get the fight done. I wish you UK protectors would just be honest and say that Wilder can beat him and it's over with. And
Of course he can do it in. Of course he can do it in. This would be the dangerous fight.
Show saying, wait, hold on. I heard Eddie Hearn on this show say that Joshua's not worried about money. He's worried about legacy, and then suddenly changed his tone after Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury called the show. So if we want to go back and forth, there's 100 statements we can use to make our opinion, our argument more legitimate. But the reality of the situation is I'm a real fight fan. These are the two best heavyweights. Let's get the fight on. Forget all the bickering and all this emotional stuff. Y'all need to get your life together. You know what I'm saying? Making $100,000 a year, telling people how to make millions. Get out of here, man. Stay in your lane and understand what time it is. Deontay Wilder all day, every day, bomb squad. Alabama in the house, and I'm out.
Stay in your
AJ,
lane.
all day, all night, 3 belts, 1 belt.
You're such a troll, Rob. It's great.
Tennis.
Yo, I mean, but those are the same things that fucking AJ says, bro.
Wilder, let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
But
let's go to Ron.
Oh
no,
shit!
Wow, you are so bad, Ness. What would he do without me? What would he do without me?
Again, I'm sure Ron will understand.
I'm sure Ron.
We rocking out. Don't forget that IBO belt. That's right, jump to.
What up, Ron?
But I just wanted to respond to Gary earlier about the Jamal James. Like, I watch this shit every day. I didn't know who the fuck Jamal James was until I turned on this show the other day. So, but overall, like, let's cut all like the politics as the casuals. Like you guys are saying, like, people who call in about money and argue that shit, like, I don't care. Like, we shouldn't even care. I'm not getting paid off that. That's like me, like, oh, I want to see the Chicago Bulls, play, the Warriors because, they're going to get paid more money. No, the team sucks. Like, let's get the best fighters to fight each other. Like, all that money stuff. Like, look, to me, the big debate is it going to crack 100 million or not? I know it's going to crack over 50 million, and Deontay Wilder knows this. He's not going to take some change, he wants to fight, but he doesn't want to fight for peanuts. Like, hey, I can sign up for the Air Force and I want to protect the country and do all the stuff, but I ain't about to do that shit for $100. Like, you got to understand, like, he has a family. He's thinking of the future. This shit doesn't come with like, a retirement plan. So he has to think ahead. And knowing the fact that like these fights, these Deontay Wilder fights, like I watched Sky Sports over here at times. They advertised Wilder's fights in the UK. They had like the James Brown music. They were kind of like hyping up like old school Muhammad Ali kind of stuff. Like, come on, man. It's obvious. I hear Deontay Wilder all the time out here. It's just people aren't going to really cash that money out until it's the big super fight. So people got to understand, look, this will sell. And Deontay's already on record says, like, look, I'll take whatever deal you give me, but you have to take the same deal in the rematch. That's how.
Yeah, but that's a 50-50 split. But that's 50-50. No, that's not. That's unfair. That deal never made sense. It doesn't matter that you're giving the lion's share in the first fight if you're only going to receive the lion's share in the second fight. No, that's a 50-50 split. That's some
okay. Fair. I didn't know
stuff.
that. I didn't know. So I can openly admit I didn't know that. But either or, man, like, he knows this is a big fight. We all know it's a big fight. Every YouTube podcast channel you check, they always talk about this stuff. You can't escape this fight. A lot of people saying they're sick of it because they feel like it will happen, but that's the point. It's a big fight. It's just like any other big fight. So everyone else is saying you should take the chump change. So no, they don't understand boxing entirely. He wants to fight the best, but he don't want to fight for pennies either. So everyone got to understand that. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Ron.
Ron, thanks for calling in, and obviously thank you for continuing to support. I want to remind anybody that is a Patreon or isn't a Patreon, no one loves you any less. Never allow my
Any less? You mean any more?
gratitude.
You mean any more? I think is the phrase.
No,
Not,
any
No one
less.
could. No one could love you less than me.
yeah, no, it's love you any more than me.
Well, anymore, whatever. The point is, no one should be getting upset when I'm showing gratitude to whoever is a Patreon or whatever reason. Like, yo, everyone is a part in this being successful, and me being able to sit here, and Matt being able to be there, and Rob being an addition, and people wanting to do, and just us coming together. Which brings us to review time, Matthew.
Ooh, my favorite time of the day.
Like a little jingle for review time.
We do need a jingle. We do need a jingle.
Starting to get dope and shit, like jingles or something. I don't know.
Like a little 5-second like audio clip for something.
Thank God that the last time, I was gonna say yesterday because it felt like yesterday, but the last time we did reviews, we reminded our loyal listeners who truly love the show to go out there and put some reviews out there, because we got these trolls. They want to hit us with 1 stars just because they disagree with our opinion on a boxing fight, a la AJ versus Wilder. So we got 3 new reviews, and they're all 5 stars. But I want to say this. I want to say we need to go for a new goal. We need to go for that 700. We're at like 600 and something. And I'm like, you know what? Why not make that into 7? 7 is a biblical number. If you're playing dice, 7 is good. If you hit it first off the dot, 7 is just good. So we need to get the 700. We need to be in the 700 club. If you got 700 in the credit score, you're good. Like, we need to be in 7. So let's go. Get your iTunes accounts out, dust off the podcast app, and drop us a 5-star review. Let us know how you're enjoying the show. I actually want to hear how you listen to the show. It's always intriguing to me. But Matt, are you ready? I've been giving you all this time so you could go over one, so you could read it with real animation and make it sound so cool.
Yeah, I just lost it. Sorry, I accidentally exited out my messaging app.
Never been a lame-o. Never been a lame-o.
My bad. But I got it now. I got it.
This is why we need in studio. This is where I could just throw something at Matt. You know what I mean? It's a studio. We could just hit him with a signed glove right now. Like, get your shit together.
Yo, I'm sorry. But I got one. You want me to go? You want me to go for the first one?
I mean,
5-star review coming from Mizu Garpy.
Well, in parentheses, it's Ash L, so we'll go with Ash L.
Oh, from the U.S. I want to go with the harder name because that's their username. That's what they really care about.
Which is Miss Sugar Pie, Matt.
Oh shit!
Oh,
fuck!
Oh, it's a female.
Well, I mean, it could.
Oh, so wait, this must be the female correspondent, the one that wants to be at our LA. Ashley, yes, Ash L. I guess Ashley. Okay, boom. Go for it, Matt. So now you got to read it with a female voice to make it sound hot. Go.
I'm not going to do that. That's going to be very offensive.
You're going to meet her, so you better have her review sound good. You're going to actually be training her. Like,
yeah, I know. All right. They are the best when it comes to boxing news. They're always up to date.
I don't know. Hold on a minute. Hold on.
I'm not going to do a female voice. I'm not going to do that. You want to do a female voice? You can do the female voice.
Rob?
Should I take a go at it?
Wait a minute, Rob. But was that convincing?
For what? A woman's voice? I'm not trying a woman's
Rob,
voice.
You try it, Rob. Let me see what Rob.
So you want slightly female, or?
Hey, man, take it away, brother. Be creative.
Yo, go for it.
Okay, Miss Sugar Pie, remember? Okay.
Sugar Pie.
They are the best when it comes to boxing news. They are always up to date with the latest news, and they are funny as hell. I look forward to.
I love it, Rob. I love it.
I look forward to tuning into their podcast before and after each fight to hear the predictions. To hear their predictions of other fight fans, and afterwards listening to their post-fight reactions. I'm so glad I found them.
Don't lose the
Keep
feminine
up
voice.
the good work, Nestor, Matt, Doomsday, and Enrique.
Damn, Matt. Rob. Hopefully, after that, a review read like that, you'll get to the reviews next. Because somebody else is gonna want to have your review read like that. That's how you read a review right there, Matt. See that?
I'm sorry, I wasn't gonna do a female voice.
Shout out to Ashley. Who's next, Matt?
Thomas. God, what's with these fucking names? Aspinall.
You missed one.
I missed one?
Oh, that might be Spanish. I wonder if he's Spanish in the UK. Well, he could be, right? Because Spain and shit.
Yeah, it could be from Spain.
Espinal. I think it's Espinal.
Espinal. Have listened to the show since May Mac and grown to love, and grown to love it more and more.
Wait. Slow down. I mean, that's important. See, that's what I want to know. How you listening, where you listen, when you start. May Mac.
Yeah, so recent. That's only last year.
And I want to just emphasize to some of our older listeners that maybe, you say, damn, you guys are wearing down a topic. This is also how you cast the net to bring in new callers to keep this show always fresh for you.
Yes.
Is by attacking those casual like shows like Mayweather McGregor.
Yes. So everyone listening right now, remember when Ness shits on me for talking about Mayweather McGregor in the UFC.
No.
Remember
That's
this.
Different. That's different. He's in the UFC now. We don't care anymore.
Oh, okay. My bad.
With boxing. Mayweather's no longer boxing. I'm not interested in that.
My bad.
Yeah, the only way we'll talk about that is if it's true the rumor about him fighting in the UFC with boxing rules.
Yeah,
Then I would be talking about it because it's like, this dude is the G of all G's. He systematically went in there and changed their whole game up just to make more money, and he will beat McGregor again because he did that. But if he's not doing that, we're not talking about that, Matt. Stop it.
Digressing. Ness and Matt are both top of their game, knowledgeable, opinionated, passionate, and funny. The spats, debates, and rants, and pedantic nature. Wow, big word of the day right there. Pedantic nature of the show make it totally unique.
I just want to say I'm glad I let you read that. I would have been jobbing that one right now.
I know, right?
I would have got my boy Jeffrey on the job.
You would have thought it was like a name or something. Real fans know the difference between this and company men at broadcasters spouting rubbish. The future of the sport lies with brilliant shows such as TBV. Keep going. Thank you, Thomas.
Oh, that was awesome. The future. You know what?
One more.
Someone who really believes in us said that very same last sentence. The future of the sport lies with us. I wonder. No, this is a man. Okay. The future of the sport lies with the brilliance of this show, because they say, like, it's the same thing I say. Fighters are going to get old, and like, for instance, there's so much nationalism, right? So like, if my fighter loses, I might stop being a fan because my fighter lost. But my job and your job and Rob's job is to entice every Anthony Joshua fan to also check out Jamal James. Except that's a really bad example because he looked like shit his last time in the fighting.
Chris Colbert's a better example. Like, having casuals go like, "Oh, Chris Colbert," like these guys talking about him, and they say
no, because I still purposely said Jamal James because I was touting him. I've been covering him for fucking forever.
But
I've covered him since he turned. Like, I've been telling my hardcore listeners that've been listening to me from the beginning, wait for this kid because he's so tall. He's going to have to dominate the welterweight division. And instead, he doesn't use his fucking height. It's ridiculous.
That's why I said maybe today, right now, the better one would be like Chris Colbert or Shakur Stevenson.
No, because it's still a learning process. So you would have had to been following me when I mentioned Jamal. But all you love to do is argue. It's cool.
Yeah,
I'm not there. There's another review to read. We're still doing reviews, Matt.
Do you want to read it or you want me to?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn.
Let's go.
Right.
Shout out to Takash and the new video Gotti is like on repeat. I don't know, Matt. You ain't listening to that? It's all good.
It's all right.
Right.
It's all right.
Yeah, another 5-star review. And just so you know, people
and
don't think
one.
Yeah, don't think we're cherry picking. We've read out 1 stars and shit. All right, we're not cherry picking these.
But don't try to prove Rob a liar and send the 1 star just to see if we really read it. Don't do that.
But if you do, I will read it.
Take our word for it. And there are some there. If you want to read some, go ahead. They're there. But don't just try to prove, that we're not liars. Because
or go back and watch all the episodes.
It really hurts anytime I read a 1 star.
But Nez, anyway, it's all love. It's 5-star all the way today.
Yes. Much love.
Anyway, so act legends.
You know why?
I'm Barack Obama, and I support the Boxing Voice.
Of course you do.
Wait. Never mind.
Yo, that was the old Matt made that soundbite years
I
ago.
remember that one, man. But damn, that's a throwback.
Yeah,
What? It's old, man. But hey, is on the board, yo. You got to play it once. Listen, Matt.
Why so serious?
Get your ass out of
No,
here,
no,
right?
no. At first, I didn't understand like how that soundbite worked with what was said, but then it like I'm high, man. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah, I know. I think you need to smoke because you're too serious. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Rob.
Yeah, I mean, it was that quote from Barack Obama on BBC News that made me tune in the first place.
BBC
So anyway, 5-star review from Act Legend in the USA. I've been following you guys for 3+ years and I've never once called in, but here is a response. Keep up the good work and continue to grow. The best podcast the best boxing podcast, the TBV.
First review.
Thank
Your
you
first review is
so
better.
much. What up, bro?
I said Robbie's first review was better. I mean, he kind of dropped the ball right there.
Oh
Yeah,
my God! Check out freaking
I thought I better not do an American accent and whatever, just in case it.
critiquing Matt over here for no reason at all.
I love Robbie. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll work harder. I promise, Matt.
So it is about that time.
It is that time.
It is that time. We're right on time too. Right
that.
on time. Man, no JP, man. JP, do your homework. I want you to watch that interview, buddy. We need to get your thoughts. You know? Let's get this thing going.
You mean JP from Long Beach, right?
Yeah, JP from Long Beach, of course.
I was like, is there another JP I'm forgetting about? But,
Ness, you like that guy. What guy, brother?
I mean, Tekashi?
Russell. What happened, brother?
I didn't say anything.
Oh. So, it's over, man.
It's over.
You know, this not being live on the main channel, it sucks. We do less shows, and it's not like I lost any passion, but I'm definitely, I want to say, I feel like I have more passion simply because it's backed up. It's like everything got to come out today.
Yeah. I mean, but also like if I was able to schedule shows on YouTube, a little pre-pro chat, like I would be able to get shows going a little bit faster. It's a little bit more fragmented in terms of scheduling the show now because of the system we have. Because back in the day, it was just me. Like I would schedule everything on every platform.
Matt simply translate that to he's the best and he needs to do everything so that it can be the best.
Exactly. I'm the best around.
You're the best.
Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
Thank you.
Nothing's ever gonna keep. Yo, it's so good to have another old guy on the show. Yes, Rob. Let's do it.
Ness, you can check out the new Cobra Kai Netflix show.
I can't believe me and you just sang that together. It's made in heaven. You're supposed to be here.
I never thought we'd be giving a shout out to Joe Esposito, the legend that sang Karate Kid. Jesus,
the living legend.
Shout out to Wayne. Wayne, you lucky we ain't got a super chat. You're supposed to be giving me a super chat. He said, yo, Ness, keep those blood pressure pills close by. You guys are crazy. This is how I am all day. Believe me. Why do you think I have so many relationships? Women can't keep up. They can't take this like constant yelling. I yell is my normal tone, unfortunately.
Yeah, like if Ness is quiet, and like calm, like I'm worried actually.
Yeah, I debate about everything, bro. It doesn't even fucking matter. I'm like Terrence Crawford. That's why we don't get along, I think. I mean, I get along with him. He doesn't like me. But that's what it is, because he always wants to win, and I don't let him win in my interviews. So, he's kind of pissed off at that. People want you to let him walk over you and shit like that. You know how it is.
What was that? You kind of petered out there at the end.
Oh, I was meant to tear out, bro. I was meant to be gone.
I know, because I smell pussy.
Dog, I mean, I never said I could be the professional champion.
Fuck with you.
I mean, is that what you want? Is that what you want for the CEO of your company to be out there fighting?
Yo, that'd be great for views. It'd be great for views. Just get it captured on camera.
Oh my God, Wayne, you said you wasn't a troll. Now you know you a fucking troll. Dude, Ness, do you get girl? You need to sign up to Patreon. You'll know. Talking about Ness, do you get girl? Jab you right now. Southpaw on you. Speaking of Southpaw, I forgot to mention that Chris Colbert was switching on him. For anybody who likes that Terrence Crawford style, he was shooting orthodox and Southpaw and making it look easy.
Yeah.
Just
with green hair.
With green hair.
With green hair, right?
Yeah. I liked it though. I didn't mind it, to be honest.
But, it's going to make people remember if they saw it.
Joel Jackson. Nestor has posters of Deontay in his bedroom. No, in the bathroom, dog. In the shower.
Duh. Come on.
Billy ass.
Easier cleanup in the bathroom.
Yo, dog, follow me on Instagram and just check. Just check what Nestor fucking has in his bedroom. Silly Billy.
There's signed posters as well, right?
They're signed posters.
I can't even hear you. What'd you say, bro?
I said there's signed posters as well.
Guys, man, yo, won't you put some bass in your voice? What?
Oh,
there's signed posters. What?
That's the same shit AJ did. He was like, yo, don't be talking to me like that. Yo, I don't care about no cameras. Like, yo, what? I can't even fucking hear you. I don't have no cameras. I don't care about cameras. What? You got trouble. That's what Brazil. You got trouble. I don't care. You got trouble. That's what Brazil was saying. AJ, yo, man, let me talk about me.
Yo, no. You know what happened in that fight? Brazil got.
He's deleted.
Come on, man. Stop.
He ain't get deleted. He came back off that Azunu win, and now you want to see him fight again. Don't be lying. Don't be lying for the people.
No,
I did not want to see him fight Wilder. I'm good.
Don't be lying for the people. Yo, actually,
I'll lie for my people, or tell the truth for my people.
I don't want to go, but I am NestGTO. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Wayne, next time I'm in BK, I'm coming through too. But look, I'm gonna be honest with you right now, so you don't say, yo, Nest never showed up. You got to remember, when's the last time I've been at a live fight? I stopped doing that since the immediate reaction shows have been a thing of more frequency. I can't go to the fight if I'm going to be here to answer your phone calls on the immediate reaction. So you can choose to take me not showing up in Brooklyn however you want. But if the fight is big, I might make the exception, even though our New York City guy, Adam Sperber, does an excellent job. And if I were to now slide in and say, oh, let me get that Daniel Jacobs-Selecki fight, he's going to be like, whoa.
But why would you want that fight? Why would you want that one like that?
I'm just saying, this is a hypothetical, man. See, that's the thing. This is 2 times today that I mentioned fighters that to you are not worth it. And you're like,
no. But you mentioned
that's what you do, bro. That's what you do. You're a fickle boxing fan, and it's okay, bro. It's okay.
Ness, you said
you don't like him now, going tomorrow, right, Matt?
No, Ness.
That's why you use that soundbite so much, Matt.
Yo, let me finish my point. I'll say this. You said I'll go for a big fight, and then you brought Jacobs-Selecki. That is the opposite of a big fight. That's why I brought that up. Like, really? Like, that one? That's the big fight that you were going to go to?
Whatever, Matt. Everything's a big fight for me.
Like, if there was a fight you were going to go to, the Barclays or MSG this year, it was Wilder Ortiz, and you didn't go because we needed to do a show.
Because the people need me more.
Yeah, exactly.
Wilder, I knew was going to do what he had to do. I had to be here to answer the fucking phones and tell people, guess what? Guess what I had to tell them?
What, Ness?
I told you so.
Actually, you betted on a first-round knockout, and it happened the 7th or 8th.
No, I made multiple bets. See how disingenuous since today's Pee Wee Herman word of the day for fucking Matt is disingenuous. All episode disingenuous. That's very disingenuous.
Yo, Ness, that's disingenuous to say. How
Remind
dare
me
you?
of this fucking guy. I'm not even gonna say this guy's name because I don't even like him. But that's how much you remind me of him with that shit. Disingenuous.
I don't know who you're talking about. So.
I know because I said I'm not even gonna say his name. Like, what's up with you, bro?
He needs some milk.
I mean, you're just hyped. It's okay.
I'm in a happy mood. Why can't I just be happy? Look, I don't even want to end the show. That's how happy I am, guys.
Ness, this can't be you happy. You've been yelling, veins popping in your forehead, man. I thought.
Doggy, you know what that is? Passion, bro. You guys don't fucking get it. It's passion.
You need that Ortiz blood pressure meds, man. I'm just saying.
You're fucking kidding. Blood pressure, man. I got this fucking, what's it called? Purple platinum. I told you, man. That shit been keeping me busy, right, baby? It's the busy. Yo, I'm telling you, shout out to the listeners, bro. I've met so many wonderful people. I can't wait. As I grow, I'll be able to meet more. You look, I haven't even made it to the UK, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, on that point, I'm Matt Thipson. If I met Mixed Combat
Matt always wants to go. Matt's got a girl. Matt, you got a girl? You got a new girl, Matt? You got a new girl?
That's for tomorrow's
Whatever.
Untitled.
Nobody cares. This ain't overtime. Rob, go ahead. Say your social media. Hurry up.
Whoa.
I'm fucking with you, man. I'm fucking with you.
Yo, if you want more of this, go to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice because tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. All right, are we actually doing
Rob's
that?
not tired. If Rob's not tired, because I could go right fucking now. I'm telling you, I'm jacked up. I got coffee on the pot.
No. We're saving that for tomorrow. It's gonna be a Monday show.
Matt's got a fucking new girl. He's been doing this all day, bro. For the last couple of weeks, he's been like dipping off on shows and potential shows. So everybody know it's Matt fault.
You got the juice now, man.
We don't believe you. You need more people.
Anyways, I am Matt, the Hipster. I know you can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram. Of course, Mixed Combat Radio is my MMA podcast. Find that on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. And I'm starting a new gaming channel, Hipster's Gaming Channels on Twitch and YouTube under that name. Also, like I was trying to say until Ness rudely interrupted me and started being disingenuous.
The word of the day.
Word of the day. Untitled tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern or earlier. If Rob wants to jump on, and we can do it earlier for the UK brethren over there. And we're going to do all topics. It'll be like this last little 15 minutes of just bullshit and shenanigans for an hour straight. You cannot miss it.
Actually, the last episode was an hour and 45 minutes, and people loved it.
It was insane. We talked about everything.
Shout out to the Texan housewife.
Yeah,
shout out to the Texas housewife, and you got to check that out on bit. Yo, shout out to Mitty providing that great piece of information, and we should do that. We'll give a hint what the Texas housewife was by saying on the live show today that we should now, for every overtime, find one true or false piece of news.
Yes, I love it. Yes.
That shit was amazing. That was like one of the best parts of that last Untitled episode. It was fucking dope. Listen, everyone said their social media. I don't want to go, but obviously they want to go, so we got to say goodbye. Peace.
3 a.m., man.
Peace.